Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey, episode 252, sponsored by Bomber Fabrication. Wow. Hey, Chris, how you doing?
I'm doing really good. How are you?
I'm doing great. We got a good sponsor in the house tonight, so this is good. We got a legitimate sponsor. How about that?
Absolutely. I'm not taking the bait on that.
Oh, you're not doing it? Okay. I just thought you just throw it out there, and then sometimes you go, okay, I'll sponsor you, you know?
We are all together in the same room. It's been a while since that's happened. It's awesome.
Not Memorex.
Not Memorex. We're live. Not live, but yeah. Good to see you.
We're all recording in person.
We are recording in person. That's
right.
correct.
It's Studio V. What do you call this place?
This is Studio M. Minden.
Oh, Minden. Okay.
Yeah.
That works. I was going to go with Verde, but okay.
Oh, that could work too.
Right.
Or Jackass Ranch.
There you go.
Lorenzo likes that one.
That's right. So you've heard some strange voices. I don't know about strange,
well,
but some new voices on the recording here.
She's catching up to Kevin Jones.
We have some very special guests in the studio with us today. We've been alluding to it for a few weeks now, or a few episodes.
Finally making it happen.
This is more of the KOH recap that just never ends, because we're going to try to make KOH a year-round thing.
Because we give till it hurts.
So in the studio we have none other than Amber Turner and of course Randy Slawson. How is everybody doing tonight?
Good to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Hey, this is great. So we're here on a Sunday evening, easy like a Sunday evening.
Yeah,
sipping a little whiskey and sitting down to do a little KOH recap. And boy, there's a lot to unpack here. What an incredible week, as always, at KOH. And looking forward to hearing the insight and behind-the-scenes stuff that we didn't see on the live feed. And
the hidden drama.
I think Amber had her best KOH ever.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah.
Pretty freaking incredible, right?
Pretty freaking awesome. It was really intense and really hard, but all hard good, how do I say this? All hard things turn out good.
Okay.
Okay, I'll take it back. Not all hard things turn out good, but when you really shit.
If you work hard to get to the position that you are in, you're reaping the benefits. How about that?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, let me translate for you.
I think she just said
from Amber Ease.
I think she just said hard things are good.
No. Hey, good thing we got an explicit label because I know all these dirty minds out there. But so it was an incredibly crazy week for you, but it always is. And then this was crazy because you raced the 4400 class this year for the first time.
Correct.
And did you ever think in a million fucking years you'd ever be in the 4400 class?
I always kind of hoped and dreamed for it, but I'd never vocalized those dreams because I always thought they were so far away I shouldn't even think about them. Because
dollar-wise, right? You're like you can't. I mean, yeah, you can take a 4800 car and put it in the 4400, obviously, but it's a bomber fucking car, so it's basically a 4400 car everywhere. Yeah. But yeah, it's like to have that opportunity is pretty damn cool. So let's not get ahead of ourselves too much. So you raced, the little samurai that could again for the fifth year in a row.
Fifth year in a row.
And
fifth and final.
Honestly, and that's probably good. That car has been through so much, and I mean, if I was a betting man, I would have said it would have made it through one KOH, maybe. And here we are 5 KOHs later. And not to mention all the freaking wheeling you do in between KOH every year.
Yeah.
Sending it, beating it with hammers,
it's
rebuilding it.
It's not just a race car. It's a wreck wheeler, too.
It's a wreck wheeler. It's
That's
your
all
wheeler.
I got.
It's your...
And it's still street legal.
I think it is safe to say you got your money's worth out of that Samurai.
$500 sure did.
I think being street legal is a big stretch.
Right?
I have a plate for it. It's currently registered.
Well,
and insured.
Nevada, it's a lot easier, you know.
That too.
But yeah. So, but every year you improved on the Samurai and got further and further at KOH. So you definitely have proven that, you know, experience and having some great people behind you that have experience of like, hey, let's adjust. Like the suspension last year that you guys worked on, you and Randy, was a game changer. And then this year you had EFI, you know, that Texas Thomas and stuff helped out, and you're gaining 6 more horsepower or something we said?
10%.
Yeah, I know. I like to say 6 horsepower. It sounds better.
Same thing.
But anyways, it was cool to see the progression and taking what is quote unquote the least capable vehicle to race KOH in, and you just sent it every year like you were going to win the race. So, and you damn near finished in time again. So
24 minutes.
How many?
24.
24 minutes.
24
man,
minutes
so
past
close.
the cutoff.
That's a tough pill.
Real
so then
close.
you're looking back because they changed your radiator this year on you, right?
Yeah.
So had you not changed the radiator,
Yeah.
you probably would have made it.
It was between that and I got stuck twice coming out of Spooners just because it was dark and it was cold and into the day and I was complacent and just, you know, that could have shaved that time off. But on the same token, my last time through pit 2, I told Stuart, I was like, I don't think we're going to make it. I kind of just want to call it. Do you want to call it? And he's like, I'm good with whatever you want. And so we got to the bottom there coming into the pit and I was like, nah, let's keep going.
Let's keep going.
And we were right there.
Damn it.
But I'm so glad we didn't quit.
No. And that doesn't, I didn't hear this story. Comms were not good this race again.
They've really never been good.
Why? And I thought we had good comms this race. Somebody stuck an air tag on your freaking rig or something? Didn't your sister stick an air tag on there or something?
So they couldn't track us. So get this, right? Ultra 4 doesn't tell anyone we all need these wires for the new rally track system thing until last minute. They don't tell anyone. We just have to figure it out ourselves, and we have to get them installed. Everyone's scrambling. And then I don't even get one. They didn't even put one in my car.
Nothing.
I don't know if anybody in the EMC got one. But
really?
Definitely not the cars in the back that definitely weren't going to finish.
Well, I know side-by-side day, the day before was delayed because they couldn't figure out the new system.
Because they didn't have enough, right?
And they didn't have enough or something was going on. And it was like, well, okay, come on, guys. You should have this all vetted out before this race.
Yeah. No. Well,
had a year to figure it out.
Right. So they didn't have enough trackers. So they had no live tracking on us. So when we came back into main pit and Stuart and Tom hopped out, Stuart had an air tag on him, and that's how they tracked us.
Okay, that was it, yeah.
And then also comms sucked because Tyler's antenna blew over.
Oh, that's right. That was the problem.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because Tyler from Morphlate drives up to Fisher, sets up this crazy repeater system that can hit Russia. And then we couldn't communicate with you on the lakebed. And I always sit next to Tyler on race days because I'm trying to do social media and stuff. And then he's like, we got no comms. And I'm like, what the F? And he's, I can't help. I don't know ones and zeros and this shit. So I'm like, okay. But yeah, the antenna blew down. That was the problem.
Well, there was some gnarly winds that one wind event, or whether it was a couple
on Thursday. The storm came through and rained on Thursday.
And of course, up on top of Fisher, it's even stronger winds.
So you start the race.
And 10 minutes in.
And 10 minutes later, in my best SpongeBob fucking SquarePants voice, you're in Turkey Claw, and it is a fucking LA traffic. It
oh
just
my
stopped.
Gosh. Yeah, that was, I keep
and you
saying.
got Tom Liu as your right seat.
Yep.
Tom's a great guy. He's freaking hilarious.
He's awesome. He's a great co-driver.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. So we pull into Turkey Claw, and from the get-go, I passed like 3 or 4 cars. Maybe that's an exaggeration. Just at the very bottom of Turkey Claw where you drop into the wash, I passed them because they're like going slow, shifting into gear or something. and then get into like the main stretch of Turkey Claw, and literally every car, I think it was like 15 or 20 cars were lined up for only the right line.
They're just
stopped.
Because, quote unquote, that's the easier line, and everybody's just sitting there. There's a pinch point. So what you're talking about, like 3/4 of the way up or so, there's a pinch point with a right line and a left line. Right line's easier. Left line's a little bit more technical. And then so what did the conversation go down in the car between you and Tom?
And then there's the Amber line.
I honestly don't remember what me and Tom were talking about, except for just that we were both really frustrated that everybody was lined up for the right side and nobody was taking the left side.
Right.
So I get past this one Cherokee and take the left line, and I'm like,
it's wide open.
It's wide open. There's
like
no one in my
commuter
way.
lane.
Yeah, it's the fast track lane. Or
fast track, yes.
Oh no,
bonus lane we called it, but what?
High occupancy lane.
HOV lane.
Yeah, or the carpool lane. Carpool.
Yeah,
lane.
carpool lane.
Carpool lane. Yeah. So, anyways,
and you had more than one person in the rig, so you qualified.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah,
and
or more.
It's a gas saver.
It's like 3 or more in California now.
Right. But so I pass all these cars and I'm in the left lane and I'm like, I kind of know what I'm doing. And I get all hyped up on it and I completely lose my shit and dump it on its side. And I get like inches from, I think that was Von Gitten's Bronco.
Yeah.
He was stuck in the right line with something broken. We saw one tire not spinning and he was winching. And I flopped within inches of that car and I felt so bad. I was like, oh man, I almost scratched up a real race car.
A real race car.
But so, I mean, I flopped and then Tom hopped out. And when I went back and watched the live feed, it took 8 minutes to flip me back over.
That was it.
That was it. And then we were moving in 10.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
Where you would have been 40 minutes plus sitting in line.
Yeah, we would have. I don't think maybe a quarter of those cars passed us back after that.
That's so good.
Because that desert was just wide open.
But it's got to be kind of that has to be hilarious passing those people, and they're people you know, right? Like Mischief Maker.
Yeah,
Holly was right there too.
Yeah, and the Sherpa boys were in there.
Yeah, and you're like, bye. Oh shit! Right.
It was fun.
So that's cool. It is definitely one of the iconic moments of KOH 2024. I can't tell you how many videos I've seen of you on your side in Turkey Claw.
It wasn't even on the live feed either.
No, I know.
Which kind of sucks.
That's almost your natural habitat.
Yeah.
But wait,
on your side or flipped over.
Wasn't Ian Johnson talking about you or something on the live feed when you went over on your side? Or what's that one clip that's out there?
Oh yeah. Oh, so it did come on the live. Oh, it was hilarious. It did. It was on the live feed for just a second. And Miles splices in this clip of he interviewed me and my samurai, and I'm like, yeah, I think the course is super easy this year.
And then in the little square in the bottom of our freaking screen is Amber on her side in Turkey Claw.
Oh yeah, that's gonna live forever in infamy.
That's right. The timing was impeccable on
that.
Dude,
kudos to Miles.
Not planned, but super timing there.
Perfect.
So, so you get through that, and then you had a pretty clean race after that, but something with your radiator got jacked up during the rollover?
No. So I think it was fine for the rollover because it was fine the entire first lap. And then coming in from lap 1, like 80% of the way through it, we hit some cross grain and the car bucked a little weird. And we think that's what broke the radiator support.
Okay.
So that one broke. And it must have just been like, leaning into my fan because I didn't smell coolant until we dropped into resolution.
Oh.
And we were passing another car and I was like, shit, I hope it's that guy and not me.
Yeah, that's a distinctive smell, that sweet smell.
Yeah.
Yes,
then, so we drop into resolution and I'm watching the temp and it's climbing. I'm like, shit. And we finally get out of resolution. I'm going a little faster and it's starting to cool down. And then I come up and over the Bronco arch and it spikes again. And I'm like, shit. We pull into main pit and I didn't have a spare.
Yeah.
So
who had a spare radiator?
I usually do, but Randy told me to throw mine away last year because it looked like junk.
Way to go.
Anyways, So I pull in a pit and they figure out my radiator's fucked and the support bracket's fucked. So my friend David Leitizer, who's got his Black Samurai there, he pulled his out.
Just like a couple years ago, the Leaf Springs.
Yeah, just like the Leaf Spring. Well, that was a guy that I had never even met before.
No, I know.
But yeah, same story. God. Stealing parts off of other samurais.
Awesome.
It's good to have OEM stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Out there.
Yeah, it's not custom.
All right.
Yeah.
For sure.
But it's one of those things where, like, I don't know if I could have looked at it enough to figure that it was going to break,
Right.
you know?
Right.
It's just one of those parts.
Well, it's like racing. I mean, you try to vet everything out, but.
Well, it's the story. So many times we hear that story. It's like you plan for the worst, but sometimes you just have this stupid little break. I mean, we've heard a bolt or whatever,
an electrical connector or something.
Yeah,
like
I mean,
that.
it takes you out of the race. But I mean, a radiator is kind of a major component. So, but like you said, who's going to carry a spare?
Samurai, I think you could just blow on it a few times and it'd cool down.
More or less, yeah. I was doing that, but I couldn't go rock crawling like that. But so it took my pit crew 18 minutes.
That's impressive. Pulling a radiator out of a perfectly running Samurai, running it across the pit or whatever, and pulling yours out and putting a new one in and hooking it up.
Yep.
And filling it.
And filling
filling
it to
it.
the perfect 50-50 ratio of antifreeze and water.
No,
Yes.
just water. I was like, I don't care that much.
No, water runs cooler. You didn't have to worry about freezing or any corrosion at that point. So.
No.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
just racing at
That's
this point.
hilarious. Okay, so then you're off and into the rock section now.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your zone. You're
Yeah.
in your element.
Yeah. That was a fun part.
And you got Stuart as your right seat at that point.
Yep. Stuart had hopped in. I'm trying to think if there's anything really notable. I mean, okay. Oh. All right. My other favorite part of that race was we followed Anthony Hadsel in the main pit.
Oh.
And then he left. All he did was stop and refuel, and then he split. And so we caught back up to him on Compaction Hill, which is like the first kind of named obstacle out on the rock lap. And him and I diced it out until Chocolate Thunder.
Oh, no kidding.
It was like 3/4 of the rock trails. We were like neck and neck.
Well, that's
and he was
kinda
just on my
fun.
ass. It was awesome.
The Hadsel brothers.
Yeah. Well, nowadays it's Anthony and his buddy that drive in that one because
Okay.
Chad used to drive the other Samurai, but he didn't race this year.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was like actual racing. I was like, I'm going to push this thing until I lose a tire. And neither of us lost tires. I was like, this is awesome. These tires are friggin' tough.
Race it or break it.
Yeah.
What kind of tires were you running this year?
BFGs.
BFG.
My kick butt. But yeah, so I think, what is it? It was like up and over Compaction Hill and then down Aftershock. And, oh, dude, we passed this Jeep. It had stopped at the bottom of Aftershock. And I was like, this guy's in the middle of the trail. Can you, like, let us by now? And I saw this other line that went around it, like, on the side of the canyon. And I was like, I can do that in the Samurai. And nobody else had taken it yet. There were
Really?
no tire tracks up there. So I was like, do.
And you went right around him.
Right around it. And there was a whole bunch of spectators sitting right there. So somebody got a video of it and
that's
sent it
cool.
to me. I was like, yes.
That's
Passing
cool.
people.
Well, I mean, that's the experience, right? Like, you know that rig inside and out, and then just knowing hammers and rock crawling all the time. It's like, that's the key. The people that have the experience like that to know, I could put my vehicle in that situation and be all right.
Heckin' A, right.
Yeah.
Nothing on the other side looks too scary.
Right? Right?
We'll figure it out when we get there.
No big deal. You already rolled once. What's the second time?
You know what? I feel like I have to get it out of the way at some point.
Right?
I have to roll at some point.
Right?
So I got it out of the way first thing and it was fine.
What do they say?
God, that body
get
was
the glitch
so
out of the way
pristine
early.
in the pits, too. I mean, I'm so sorry you rolled it over.
It's okay. It hurt my soul a little too.
All right, so the rest of the rock lap, any other notable stories?
Mostly just, I mean, we had to winch in Chocolate Thunder, but we're anticipating that. We didn't have to winch at the waterfall on Highway 20. I had been anticipating that, but Anthony was right on my ass, and I saw the waterfall, and I was like, I'm just going to send it. Sent it, made it. He got stuck.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I think he said he had to winch on that one, so I got a little bit of time on him. And then Never stopped at pit 2. Bypassed it every time because the fuel economy actually was better than I had anticipated.
With the fuel injection.
Yeah.
It ran better? I mean, overall, the throttle response and everything? I mean, noticeable difference.
Yeah, it just really didn't like it when I stood on the throttle.
Oh, really? Didn't like full throttle?
Nah, it started like cutting out on me and stuff. But I wasn't going full throttle most of the time. I had enough power to shock ratio to kind of modulate a little bit.
If I had our other recording board, I'd do the Toyota hitting the rev limiter.
That's what it sounded like. Like it would cut out, and it sounded like it was hitting rev limiter.
The rev limiter.
But
just
it's like,
a little
it's not
quieter.
That cool. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then the other.
You can edit that in, Chris.
Maybe. She's doing pretty well.
Oh, yeah. No, it's good.
Because I actually drive a Japanese vehicle.
Yeah, there you go.
I may dub that in to make it the new sound.
With the extra 6 horsepower. I mean, 10%.
Yes.
Use the bigger number. You always use the bigger number.
Right.
Make it sound bigger.
It sounds bigger.
I wish it was 6.9%.
Just like when you shave the bushes around your deck.
Whoa. That went sideways.
TMI.
All the way down. Wait, what?
All right, so finishing up your race in the Samurai.
Oh boy. I think the last notable thing was just that I got stuck twice in Spooners, and that sucked.
Really?
I was just
Spooners is a crazy trail. I mean, it's Outer Limits and Spooners, and a lot of the, and now especially like viewers don't get to see that other than drone footage and stuff, but like to physically be, I remember one of my first KOHs, I was out at Spooners and watching the race from there, and I was like, this is freaking cool trail. Still, Spooners and Outer Limits are some of my favorite trails out there.
Yeah. It was just like I said, I was tired and complacent and kind of, I guess I had kind of already checked out at that point.
Right.
So Stuart had to get out, and I think we winched both times that we got stuck. It's just really frustrating to look back on it because I could have shaved off so much time if I hadn't done that.
Really?
And it's, I just need to.
Line choice or like, what was it?
Just line choice. Like I just, get diffed out because I wasn't paying attention, and I should have been. And it was the end of the day. I'd been in the car for 11 hours. That's
part of that game, right? The mental side of the game. And you said you retired, and it's like.
And then also, fun fact, I found out the next day that my earbuds had actually been amplifying the sounds of the car into my ears.
Say what?
Yeah. So I had like constant loud noise in my earbuds, in my helmet all day.
The whole time?
The whole time.
Sound like you were hitting the like 5,000 RPM in your car?
Or like 6,900 RPM. It was just loud the whole time because I got out of the car and I couldn't
choice
hear.
Of number, but.
Like,
really?
My hearing was significantly stunted. I was like, I can't hear anything.
So it's just this crazy.
Yeah.
Like tinnitus?
How did that go?
Right, Chris?
What was that like?
I don't know.
T-Rex.
T-Rex.
Yeah, and then the next day they were doing the same thing. I wore the same set of earbuds, and I didn't realize this until like halfway through the 4,400 race. And so like I was like, I want to say like 70% deaf by the time I finished the EMC, and then I hopped in the big car, and that one's even louder. So I was like super dizzy the whole day because my inner ear was messed up.
Noise is crazy. So like Chris and I growing up on golf courses running equipment stuff, and you're running shit at like full RPM with a hydraulic pump. And I didn't, it's like as a kid, I'm not wearing ear protection. But it wears on. It makes you tired. It physically draws you down.
It damages your ears.
I didn't realize that until a little too late. And then now I wear ear protection on anything crazy loud. And
yeah,
it's like
I'm really careful about that stuff.
Yeah.
Usually, I wear ear protection more than probably anybody else in the shop. My eye protection and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like I think I used a grinder one time when I was a kid without ear protection. I realized my ears were ringing afterwards, and I was like, I'm not doing that again.
No, I remember growing up, my dad was a machinist and metal worker, and the shop was behind our house. And I remember being in the house, and he'd be grinding with a big old cat fucking angle grinder. I mean, the thing was like, 2.5 horse or some crazy shit. I mean, it was super loud in the house. And I'd go out there and just watch my dad grind and shit. And I'm like, oh my God, the ear damage I did back as a kid. But, you look back on that now, I mean, it was like no big deal. And he's like smoking a cigarette and doing his thing, but
people were just built differently.
Well, it was. And then now that you know, and then, and I started wearing ear protection and stuff. And it's like, well, you don't want to be labeled as a sissy because you're wearing ear protection or eye protection. But
I don't even care.
Now it's like standard. It's like, where's your ear protection? Where's your eye protection?
Well, these are your primary senses, and I mean, I wear hearing aids. I'm not wearing them right now because I'm not. But but I have headphones on. I can hear you guys.
This picture says what?
But I guarantee you, as Jason mentioned before, I damaged my hearing in the industry I work in.
Sure.
So it's no joke. This is a PSA. Wear your hearing protection.
Yeah, wear sunscreen, wear eye protection, wear ear protection.
Amen.
And a condom. Okay, so
wrap it before. No, never mind.
I'm cutting you off.
Edit. All right, cool. So you get out of Spooners and
actually, so we got to the top of Spooners and Tony Howard was there. I don't know if you know him.
I don't
Scumbag
know Tony.
Havoc Racing.
Oh wait, I have heard that. Yes, I know Havoc Racing.
He's a really good guy.
I didn't know his last name.
Yeah, Tony Howard.
Okay, I didn't know his last name.
But so I'm not sure if his car was damaged or if he was limping along or if he was just like over it because he basically paced us all the way back into Maine.
No kidding.
Yeah, like he just followed us and it kind of made it feel like he was like looking over us the whole way back. And I was like, oh, this guy's so nice.
Okay.
He's a good dude. But yeah, cool. and then we passed Megan Miller.
Oh, Megan Miller.
In Resolution. And I think Tony cut off to help them.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
That's cool. I mean, and this is the part that, I mean, you guys always joke around, oh, it's just another day of trail riding. I mean, it's a freaking race. But you've been in it for so long that you know a lot of the players of the game, right? And it's like when you go out there and you come up on somebody's car that you're like, oh, that's so-and-so, and you're like waving at each other during a fucking race.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
For sure.
And as a spectator, we don't get to see that. We don't, these interactions are pretty cool on the trail and get to help each other out. So
yeah, it's, if you're in the position, if you're not like still in your race zone, like check on your friends.
Yeah.
And
it's
it's
cool.
It's super cool when someone does that back for you too.
But that's the off-road thing, right? It's like if we were out on Fordyce or Rubicon that particular day, you see a buddy broke down, you're going to stop and help him. Well, obviously during a race, it's like, yeah, like you say, if you're running podium, you're like, nope, we'll see you later. You good? You're not hurt? Okay, moving on. But
yep.
But you still have that camaraderie out on the trail. It's just at a different race level.
Yeah, I tell all my friends in the EMC, don't let me pass you. I'm the slowest one out there. Don't let me pass you. Go faster.
Because I'm starting at the back and I'm coming up on you. Yeah. I like that position, being towards the back and being able to pass people instead of being the rabbit out front that people are trying to chase. So it just seems a little less pressure. I
did learn this year though, because Mike drove the first lap of the 44 race, and that kept us in front of a lot of traffic.
Yeah,
that was really nice.
Well, he excels in the desert.
Yeah, he's a badass.
He freaking knows the desert. Yeah. Okay, we're going to get into that race in a minute. So let's wrap up coming into Hammertown. And so you were 24 minutes, unfortunately, under the cutoff of time.
I rolled across the stage, and the chick on the live feed was like, did you get an official finish? And I was like, no. And they started packing up the live feed.
Yeah.
But then Emmy Hall was still there, and I guess she came up and interviewed me. I think it actually did end up on the live feed. I don't remember. Someone told me that.
I think it did. I wasn't watching, but I
don't know.
Yeah, but it did or it didn't. It doesn't matter. But
what the cool thing is I mean, the journey that you have taken in that Samurai the last 5 years, from literally it was a range picker at a fucking golf course.
That's right.
Yeah.
It was a range picker at a golf course. It was retired as a range picker. And then you took this Samurai and raced it not once, not twice, not 3 times, not 4 times, but 5 fucking times at KOH. Oh, to mention a bunch of fucking wreck wheeling in between on Rubicon, Fordyce, and every other freaking hardest rock trail in California.
Moab and Sand Hollow.
And
one of those Fordyce trips had a paddleboard on it.
So, oh my God, best $500 ever spent.
Dude, hell yeah. I say that all the time. That is the best money I've ever spent.
That's cool.
Kidding. So I mean,
it's the rig that keeps on giving.
That is cool. And building your driving skills up, and then we get into the 4400 class. But before we go there, Randy's been sitting over here patiently, very quiet, because he's a very talkative person, and we've had to tone him down a little bit. So. Randy, it's your turn to talk. So Amber raced on Friday. You raced on Friday in a brand new 4800 car that you built at Bomber Fab. And let's talk about that race.
What do you want to know?
Did you win? Did you win?
But did you win?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, all right, end of story. Let's go on to 4400. No, let's talk about this. So it's pretty cool. The last time we had you guys on the podcast, we talked about, you were building a 4800 car to race 4800, and your goal obviously was to win 4800 and 4400. And so then we fast forward to KOH 2024. Here we are talking about this now. So this brand new 4800 car, built, shock tuned. You had some trials and tribulations getting things dialed in, but you were pretty damn confident with this car coming up to the start line. And your brother did the qualifying, right? And the desert lap.
Yes. So some years I've had new cars that have treated me very well, and some years I've had cars that we've fought tooth and nail. And this car, I wouldn't call it the worst car, but it definitely wasn't the easiest one we ever had.
Okay.
We had some tuning woes. We ended up switching out a motor that had some kind of problems with.
You had a brand new motor in the car from Summit Racing, brand new
crate engine. Lost a couple cylinders,
and it was not happy.
Yeah. Yeah, and then just the typical shock tuning stuff. Right out of the box, I thought it was really good, and then we made it better over here, and then we ran it over there, and I didn't like it, and we made some improvements. It never really got where I wanted it to be. The car's pretty loose, I would call it, particularly in the back. I don't think the front felt too bad, but the back was busy. It was using a lot more travel bump to bump than what I wanted it to or what I would like it to be. It was a Cadillac. It wasn't a race car. Mike qualified, and I would have qualified, but I didn't want to race the whole race myself, and I wanted to give Mike lap 1. Mike's a desert slayer. He's great out there in the open. He's great anywhere, but I'm a rock guy. I've been doing the rocks for years and years and years. And Mike can rock crawl, but he doesn't have the seat time that I do in that arena. So I wanted him to run the desert, and unfortunately, the way the rules are written, the way it's structured, if you qualify, you have to start. And I'd have happily qualified, but I didn't want to do this lap 1. So Mike qualified. I said, I want to be top 20. And he's like, really? Top 20? He goes, I want to set the pole. And so he dialed it back as far as he knew how. And I think, what did we get? 8th? I think we qualified 8th or something like that.
Top 10, yeah.
Which was a fine spot to start. The last year that I ran EMC in 22, I set the pole. And
that's right.
That was the first time I'd ever started pole position. And having that target on your back and not knowing what the pace should be, or not knowing how hard to push to stay up front, it's difficult. I'm not used to that. I really didn't enjoy it.
See, I think the advantage is being a few spots back or 10 or whatever it may be.
It's really nice to have the corrected time.
Right. Because if you are that rabbit out front and everybody's chasing you, it's like, fuck, how hard do you push the car, right? And you're relying on comms at that point from your pits, like, okay, you got 2-minute lead or whatever it is. I mean, but still, it's like you got no dust, though. You got no dust, but
well, this year with the rain, there was no dust.
It was a good.
You could run as hard.
Oh my gosh.
And as close to the guy in front of you as you wanted. There was no dust.
So how great was that? Yeah, because it rained during the golf cart race,
That's
the
right,
UTV
Thursday.
race.
We had good
and
rain.
you guys
Rained a
had
bit
a
Thursday.
great. The skies opened up, and the angels sang on 4800 morning. And it was great. Yeah,
It was beautiful, beautiful racing.
That's
weather.
cool.
It was really nice. We were all wondering, how many garbage sacks we needed to punch Armin and head holes in, and like, what are we going to have to wear to keep from freezing to death? But it was beautiful.
It was a good day.
That's perfect.
It turned out to be a nice day. Yeah. Okay, so your brother led lap 1, and then
when he came back around at the end of the lap, the deal was I was going to hop in the driver's seat, and he agreed to co-drive for me. So we switched. I switched to the driver's seat. He switched to the passenger seat. And like the rookies that we are, we'd never practiced that. So we lost a position or two in the pit. And I got a little flustered and PO'd over the thing and went straight out to Turkey Claw and flatted a couple tires. And
that was painful to watch on the live feed. You had one flat tire, your spare was already on the car, and then you had a second flat tire within, 10 minutes or some bullshit?
So I think I honestly flatted them both. I think I slow leaked the driver rear in Turkey Claw, and I definitely punched the passenger front to the point where it was coming out of Turkey Claw. I told Mike, I was like, I think I got a flat tire.
Yeah.
And as I was coming down the backside, do the gullies and heading out into the desert, I was like, oh yeah, it's flat for sure. So we got out there a little ways, and I was like, well, we're not going to make it to pit 1. That's 30 miles or whatever it was from there. So we pulled off and switched it out. And we got back in it and got going again. I said to pit 1, we don't even pass pit 1. Anyway, pit 2, you got to run some rock trails, and it's a jaunt to get out there to a pit. So we switched that one, and we didn't even make it to the first rock. And I was like, I got a driver rear flat. So fortunately we had liners all the way around.
Okay.
Inner liners. And I just scaled it back and started really paying attention to what I was going to hit with that tire, what was left of it. And I was like, if I crack the wheel up and take out the brakes, we're really in trouble.
Yeah.
So I just, took it really easy and paid attention to what I had going on. And we got up compaction and down aftershock and up 19 and 20 and over to the pit. And the guys checked the car over and put a fresh tire on and a fresh spare on and sent me back out. And at that point, I got the little, what's the word I'm looking for?
Anger?
No.
Anxiety?
No, I'd been taught my lesson about DOT tires.
Yeah, because he's
that's
not
right.
running,
That's the
he's
48.
not running his 4400
That's
race tires.
right.
37s
DOT.
race
Yeah.
Got a little wake up call on that. So,
Yeah.
So then I was just like babying it, just driving along. I feel like I'm Sunday cruising,
Right.
And they call over the radio. They say, "Hey, you're 11 minutes down. The leader, help me out.
Woody
Rose.
Woody Rose.
Yeah.
Woody Rose had been through chocolate, and they said
he was running a clean race.
You're 10 or 12 minutes back. And I was like, whew, man, can we whittle that down on him? So started picking up the pace just a little bit, and, still trying to watch the tires and stuff. But we didn't winch anywhere, ran smooth and clean. The car, these bomber cars work so good in the rocks. It's a pleasure wheeling them. It's so much fun.
It's a pleasure.
Are you biased? You might be a little biased.
A little biased,
Maybe
but
a little
okay.
bit.
But have you tried
But
it
they
yet?
work. Have you been there? Have you driven a bomber?
So we spanked Chocolate Thunder, and then
Spank chocolate.
work our way up Jack North. And there was one spot on Jack North that gave me a little bit of trouble. I had to back up a couple of times. And then, we're working on through the trails, and everything's feeling good, running good. We're heading down outer limits, and that one kind of S turn in the middle is super, super chunky. And I got hung up in there, and I was just getting ready to say, Mike, all right, you better get out and pull some cable for me. And I got it to budge off the rock we were on, and was able to get it to back out of there. And then I was able to get back just far enough where I could get a little bit of different line into it, get a tire on top of a rock, and give her a little bump, and popped over that. And I was like, oh man, whoo. So kept on trucking. And then as we were getting further down outer, I was like, I think I see Woody. And then, we turned the corner onto Spooners, and I was like, oh yeah, there he is. So always, once you've got that dust to chase, now you're motivated.
See, I think it's better being the chaser than the chasee.
For sure.
Yeah.
So we start reeling them in.
A target at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so much fun to chase. So we get, I don't know what to call it, halfway up Spooners or so, and there's an optional line where there's like 3 different lines kind of in this weird deep gully. And the newest line is a left line, and the old line's the middle line, and there's a right line that's kind of crazy. But we watch Woody try to take the left line, and he doesn't hit it quite hard enough. And it's not a super technical line, it's just kind of a horsepower line. And he backs up and gives up on it. And I said to Mike, watch this.
We got this.
So we hit that left line that he abandoned and passed him right there. And then Mike's like, all right, buddy, it's all up to you.
Let's go.
It's your race to lose.
Yeah.
So we worked our way up and out of Spooners and across the desert and down Resolution and back door and back to the finish line. And we ended up getting him all in, all the penalties, all the things that Mike had missed a check on lap 1, and I ended up missing a checkpoint on lap 2.
Okay.
We beat him by 2.5 minutes.
No kidding.
So it was
pretty tight.
pretty nip and tuck.
Yeah. Woo-hoo. So missing checkpoints. So, co-driver is obviously trying to keep you on that track, but I mean, it just seems, and I don't understand as a, spectator out there. I know the VCPs, the virtual checkpoints, but it's like you're going so fast, and depending on the moment and the part of the trail that you're in, like if it's technical or fast, high speed.
So Mike and I, neither one realized exactly how these new trackers work.
Okay, yeah.
And other races that we've run, other trackers that we've used, if the tracker lights up VCP, that means you've achieved.
Fuck yeah, I got it.
You got it.
Okay.
So this silly tracker that they have would light up when you were in range, and then it would count you down from 100 yards to 20 yards or something like that.
Okay.
And then once you were closer than 20 yards or whatever, they figured that you had it, or you were supposed to understand that you had it. We didn't realize that. So when we'd see that thing flash, VCP,
we're good.
We're
out.
good. We got it.
We're out.
So it frustrates me that I only race once a year, and everybody thinks I'm this veteran and I should know everything. And on some ways we are, and we do. But in other ways, it's like we forget stupid stuff year to year, you know? And then they change the tracker on us.
Well,
and so it's like a learning experience. It would really help me to race twice a year, 3 times a year, because every time we race, it's like, oh yeah, that's the way we're supposed to handle that.
So that's a good point, because, you know, I love these stories, and it's like, yeah, because everybody was upset over the you know, what's referred to as a yellow brick on your car. That's the actual tracker and documents the race in your particular car. And that changed this year. And then they went back to the yellow bricks, right? So it was like, what the fuck? And you are a veteran racer, Randy. You've won fucking 3 times at King of the Hammers. You were there you're the OG. But it's amazing to me at how this thing's evolved, and unfortunately, it's like everybody should be up to speed on all this stuff. But I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. But it's like, now that Dave's concentrated on 1 race a year, you should have this shit dialed in by now. And it's like, how hard, and GPS tracking. To me, it's just it's beyond comprehension of how screwed up this is.
You have one job.
You got one job, but no, I just, like, GPS technology is so good right now, and that's what a tracker is. Mm-hmm. And hitting a VCP is a GPS checkpoint, for God's sakes. So why can't we have that figured out? And somebody like Randy, in the position that's raced this race, you know, numerous times, it's like, give me a fucking tracker that you know, hits that spot. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, there might, and we've heard the controversy with regards to some other racers that would, you know, potentially miss a VCP intentionally and gamble on the penalty versus...
Well, so that's it. That's the whole... This brings up this crazy subject of VCPs, and it's like everybody goes, you got to put more VCPs in the race. But then you got somebody like Randy that's raced all these races King of the Hammers every year. That's his one race.
Right.
And it's like, there needs to be some consistency there, I guess. And I get it, technology evolves, but it seems like it's disevolved during this race, and that... I'll just throw that out there.
It's the gamble. It's the trade-off. If you're willing to take the penalty. I hear what you're saying, but I mean, I think that strategically, there's a strategy that might be being employed.
There is obviously a strategy. So, with that brought up, what's your opinion, Randy, Amber, on like this side-by-side, Kyle Chaney missing a whole fucking trail and getting penalized and getting bumped down? He physically finished first in the 4,400, but he missed a fucking trail.
There's no upside to intentionally short coursing. If you miss a VCP, intentionally or not, you're going to regret it, because they make sure that the penalty is 5 times the advantage. So if you're racing to win and you miss those checkpoints and you get bumped down, you know, you're gonna wish that you'd done.
So is it worth a DQ if you miss a trail?
Is it worth a DQ? Originally, that was the rule.
Right.
If you short course, you're disqualified. That was the rule. If you unintentionally short course and, you know, you did everything else right, I get the penalty thing. But there's times, you know, that golf cart limped across the finish line on 3 shocks, and
for sure.
Who's to say if he actually ran all the rocks, if he'd have even been able to finish?
Mechanically, it might have been just a piece of junk out there on the trail, on the side of the trail, right?
Well, there's that.
But yeah, and then this particular instance that we're talking about, I mean, you've got arguably one of the best right seats that knows that desert inside and out in Kyle Chaney's instance. And so it's like...
And he's got nice hair.
And he's got great... You said it. He's got great hair, Terry. But no, seriously, it's like... Wow. And I get it. it's
from
interesting.
Farrell
This
over
brings
here.
up an interesting subject because, like you said, you race that race once a year. You know frickin' Hammers inside and out, and you're still struggling. You and your co-dog, your brother, are still struggling to figure out shit.
Mike's raced all over the place.
Exactly.
He races Score. He races
Right.
Western Desert.
So-
he races motorcycles. Mike was arguing with King of the Hammers that there should be a physical stake, a physical landmark for the VCP.
That's how it is in Rebel Rally.
Well, yeah,
We got
why?
flags.
That's a good point, Amber.
Why is it virtual? Why can't we see
Why
this
can't we
checkpoint?
see? Yeah, put a fucking orange
make
stake
it-
out there.
make
or
it
something.
both.
So I
right?
had a question.
Yeah, both.
What did VCPs consist of when you first won in 2013?
Oh man, that was a long time ago.
I mean, what did you have to hit? Did you have GPS trackers back then?
Oh, for sure.
For sure? Okay.
I think I was just thinking about 2007. We signed a booklet that was hidden alongside the trail at various places in 2007. We had to stop and hope that we could reach the thing out of the car.
Are you kidding me? You actually signed your name or something?
We signed a little.
That was your VCP.
So that's like
In air
the
quotes.
honor system, like on a golf course tournament.
Was it just when you finished the trail you had to sign
the
a little booklet?
Yeah,
Because there
more or
weren't
less.
very many of them,
How
right?
crazy is that? That's fucking. I just never heard this story.
That's full-fledged honor system right there, you know.
honor system.
Honor. Yeah.
Donner or honor?
Honor.
Are we eating people?
Get honor, stay honor.
We didn't eat any
label.
people. It wasn't the Donner party.
No. Donner, party of seven.
But
Donner,
seriously,
party of
I
six.
mean, that's what I'm getting at, and this is a great conversation because Randy being an OG from race number 1, King of the Hammers, to what we have today in 2024, and now all this technology. And to me as a spectator, it's like, why don't you have your shit figured out to figure out whether a car has been off course, missed a VCP, blah, blah, blah. And
Well, they have it figured out. We just didn't know how to operate that thing.
I know,
Operator error.
There it is.
but yeah, so it's I don't know with this whole golf cart situation with Kyle Chaney. And
Yeah,
I mean, in my
that
opinion,
resolved
my
itself.
honest fucking opinion, if you miss a whole rock trail, you should be DQ'd.
So you're talking about Cheney. I watched his YouTube recap of their race, and at the end of it, they're devastated.
Yeah.
They're practically in tears. They thought they won, and then they ended up 8th, right?
Right.
And their recap, their synopsis at the end of the deal was, we didn't do our homework, and when we come back next year, we know what we need to do.
Okay, and that's redeemable, and like, okay, it was an honest mistake, but arguably you have the best right seat that is your co-pilot that should know where all these VCPs are.
No, wait
and
a
in this
minute.
technology of GPS where you can get down to a gnat's ass of where you're at on the race course. But okay, cool.
It's the co-dog's job to zoom in because it'll tell you if you're on or if you're not, as long as whoever laid the course did their job
Right.
and actually laid it really accurately. We run into that too sometimes, where the GPS will tell us we should be on this line in the desert, and we're like, we're running over bushes.
Yeah, see, that's what
There isn't a line here. Like,
Right.
where
This
are we
is a true
supposed to
story.
be?
It's the
Sometime-
point between. It's the area between two points.
The thing glitches.
it
and
does glitch.
The GPS just makes a straight line out through no man's land
Right.
sometimes,
It
and it's
does
really
glitch.
frustrating.
I had a GPS in my car, and I was coming home from wherever, and I was driving up 880.
Sent you right into that lake, huh?
Right.
No, and it showed me the GPS map showed that I was driving in the bay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Across the bridge.
So I'm like, this is not right. I don't know what's going on, but sometimes it errors up.
But that's the thing, and from you look back of like Randy having to sign a fucking book at a BCP, quote unquote, air quotes at that point, to where we are in 2024,
today, right?
Yeah.
with a virtual, GPS checkpoint.
And a system that's supposed to be like tighter than a gnat's ass.
Right. So we send people to the fucking moon, for God's sakes. How can we not figure this shit out? That's where I'm at as a spectator and, podcaster here. I'm like, how come they don't have this shit figured out yet?
Well,
constant work in progress, I guess.
It's evolving.
Yeah, and that's
What is
something
it, though?
like it's because I asked you what was tracking like in 2013, and as a newer racer, I appreciate that the technology's at least come this far.
But it's still archaic compared to where it should be, I think.
I just think it's nice that at this point Dave is disconnected from the scoring, so you can't really blame Dave.
No.
True.
I think that was a big step on his.
True.
Dave is making the course, and he's driving the bulk of it.
He drives it in a bomber chassis, by the way.
Old trail bomber.
And he made it really easy
But
this year.
when they're out drinking beers and setting course, like you're going slow, you're checking back in on your buddies. That GPS line that you created is oftentimes far from a legit race line.
So how do we improve it? I don't know.
Man, I just drive a race car. I don't do the
I
GPS.
know, but we got Jake at Cardo Tracks that maps out the course and stuff. I mean, there seems some disconnect somewhere in between the we're setting up a course haphazardly for KOH 2025, let's say now, and but
they need to take
the technology is there.
The dudes that are pre-running, they need to take the maps that they create while they pre-run,
right,
and take 50 of them and turn it into one and average it out. There's got to be a program that.
So if you have a clean pre-run run, then that would work. But if like you said, you're driving a little bit,
a bunch of them,
beer,
and turn it into an average.
We need AI.
Okay.
We need AI, or we need like an X racer, like X racer Kevin Jones, or somebody that
Ultra
is
4
not,
Escort.
Wow.
that is not in the competition to run the fucking course and create a good GPS map.
Sure.
At speed or whatever. I don't know what the answer is, but I'm just miffed that we don't have this shit figured out by now, and we meaning Dave Cole.
Right. Well,
we meaning,
but absolutely
not pointing any fingers, but Dave Cole
Ultra
really
4.
fucked this up.
Seriously, Ultra 4, and it is frustrating. You guys expressed it as a racer, and as a viewer, it's like, how does this shit work? Why can't this be night and day? And if you miss a fucking trail, I still stand by this, you should be DQ'd. You missed a whole fucking... because a lot of shit can happen on a rock trail, as we all know, as recreational rock crawlers or racers or whatever it may be, shit breaks. And if you miss a whole trail and you only get penalized, 5 minutes or 8 minutes, whatever... Well, fuck yeah, I'll miss that rock trail because I know my shit can break on it.
That's what I was saying. But at the same time, so Kyle Cheney raced in the 4,400 race, right, with the side-by-side, and he missed that trail. But from what I heard on the reports, he missed the same exact trail during on the Thursday race. The side-by-side race. So how do you miss the same trail twice? You think you would learn
do his homework.
Well, yeah, or you didn't learn your lesson.
But still, you miss a trail, DQ. It's as simple as that. And I don't mean to make him the spectacle, but you miss a trail, you're done. Go ahead.
This race, Dave got more creative with the lines in the track than I feel like he ever really has. There were lots and lots of short little deals, little... the fishing hole off of Fissure Mountain, and there was some other little get off of Fissure.
See, I don't even know about that.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was less than 50 feet off the old tried and true. We've raced this line for 50 years.
Yeah, right.
But you're right there. You're so close, but you've got to go and be in that ditch in the little rocks. Like, it's not even a
quote
thing.
unquote fishing hole.
The fishing hole. You've got to be there, not right here on Fissure Mountain. And so many people, I did it pre-running. I was like, oh, it's on to Fissure Mountain. We got to go over the mountain. And I'm like, wait a second. I see a few tracks going over there. We better go check that. And sure enough, that's the fishing hole. That's where we're supposed to be. We're not supposed to be up there on Fissure Mountain.
Yeah, I want to say there were like 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 like little trails that weren't hard rock crawling trails, but Dave just like threw them in there.
Yep.
They're off the beaten path.
Just to keep you on check.
Yep.
And that's cool.
It made it more of a navigation race than I feel like it's ever been. And then the other caveat, the other weird thing for those of us that raced EMC and then 4400 was in EMC, lap 2 was very akin to lap 3 4400 with changes, and then lap 2 4400 was more like almost like stock class EMC.
Yeah, because
Really?
you dropped King's Veto, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So you had to know which variant you were running on which lap, and like you really had to do your homework or you're going to be in trouble.
And
Yeah.
I'm okay with that, and I think that's cool because, somebody in your position that's raced every freaking KOH ever, and then that's what you were just alluding to. It's like, I see tracks over there. I kind of know how Dave's brain works, and that's where that experience pays off. And I like that. I have nothing against that because you've got the experience. So, like, somebody that's brand new to it is like, okay, what the F? We're going to try and make this course as easy as possible, whatever. So, that's good. I like the craftiness.
Cheney was talking about the fishing hole, and he's like, the GPS glitches out. Sometimes it says we're offline when we know we're online. And that's when you're used to that, when you're used to there being issues with the GPS, it's very easy to rationalize away. We're off course. Nah, look, we're on Fissure Mountain Trail. How far off course could we possibly be?
You're not going to sit there, stop your car, and
but
scratch your head.
You're talking like 50 yards off the trail is this fishing hole that you got to hit that VCP. But if you stay on Fissure Trail, you're thinking you're fine, but you're not.
Yep.
And I get that. And that's cool. And that's one of the caveats of this crazy. I mean, it's the freaking toughest race, one-day off-road race, right? And those are the things that add up to it. So
I thought it was good all in all. I
you
thought,
did?
Yeah. I thought mixing a little bit of navigation and being on point and doing your homework and making sure that you cross your T's and dot your I's.
Right.
I thought it was good at the end. The tracker, learning the tracker was a little bit of a thing for us. It's a little bit of a learning curve because it didn't work like the previous ones and it didn't work like anything else we've ever used before.
Sure.
But all in all, once you learn how to use it, I was thinking of a story for you a little earlier.
Okay.
When we got back home, I told Amber, and I called up Nick Bailey, my crew chief.
Yeah.
I said, let's sit down and let's talk about and make a list of all the silly things that we did wrong.
Great idea.
And then let's keep this list and let's look at this thing again next year.
Okay.
Because it's so easy to make a mistake. And then a year later, you forgot all about it.
Sure.
Or 2 years later, 3 years later, and you make the same idiotic mistake again. And there's nothing more frustrating to me than to lose or break because you made some dumb mistake that you've already made before.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to come back at the end of this year and listen to this podcast again and figure out what we need to fix for next year.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. I love it.
I've bbeen spending a little bit of time in the evenings here and there watching the YouTube. I talked about the Cheney one, and I think I watched the Jason Shear one where he, at the end of his race, he crashes.
Yeah.
He got all balled up at the top outer limits, and it cost him a bunch of time, and he was super frustrated about that situation. And he said, for the sake of the crew, I'm going to go as hard as I can and get as good a finish as I can. And he ended up crashing the car and breaking his thumb, and like, it was pretty devastating.
Right.
But the more of those scenarios that you can have fresh in your brain, the more hopefully we can. What's the difference between a wise man and a smart man? Wise man learns from other people's mistakes. Smart man learns from his own, but a wise man learns from other people's mistakes. Mm-hmm. So I want to be the wise man.
Very well said. This is the quote of the year right there. By Randy
that's the title of the episode.
Slawson. I love that.
We do what we can.
It's true. No, it's true, and that's it. It's like, you know, you've been in it for so long, and then just figuring out the whole, you know, problem and how do we solve this problem. It's incredible. The freaking KOH 2024.
Well, this is only still a part of the story. We haven't gotten into the 4400.
But I love that we went down this crazy rabbit hole.
Well, that's what we do here.
There's some great stories here, and just to hear the behind the scenes and what, you know, you guys do as drivers, and you're working with your co-dogs of navigating this, you know, where is the advantage? How do we get? I mean, arguably you got one of the best cars on the freaking lakebed, and it's like, how do you get to number one?
That's
and obviously you figured it out on 4800 day and crossed that line. What was that like, Randy? Because a brand new car, you know, you did it a couple years ago. Was that the window block car 2 years ago? Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago in 22, we made it like 14 miles, and the old engine said, knock, knock, who's there? And exited the chat.
Knock, knock, who's there?
Wow.
That was it. It was so bad. I remember coming to your pit and all sheepishly, and I go, what the fuck happened? And you just go look at the car in the trailer, and I'm looking, and I look at the engine block, and there's a window in the block. I could see crank and all kinds of internal components.
Pretty little inspection hole.
Yeah,
never good.
And that wasn't what the doctor ordered. So okay,
No.
It gave me no warning whatsoever.
No,
it
that's
ran
what sucks.
so good in qualifying, and it ran so good pre-running, and it ran fine right up until it didn't.
Why? Yeah,
like
they always
12
run
miles.
really good right before they don't. But that sucks because, and just like this year, I mean, you know, following you this year, and you put this brand new motor in a brand new 4800 car, and you go, nope, it lost a couple cylinders, and I go, how is that possible? Brand new crate motor. In theory, you think, oh, this thing's dialed in, should run 100,000 miles, but here we are 12 miles down the trail, and you're like, it ain't working. We got to put a new motor in it.
Yep.
Thankfully, we had the car ready for Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
It's not like we were finishing this car up right before Hammers, so we had enough time.
What if you were? It'd
it was
be the
New
same
Year's.
fucking
It wasn't
scenario,
Thanksgiving.
right?
New Year's, yeah.
And that's the scary thing. And it's like, what do you? And then you're thinking, okay, well, I gotta vet this car out. I gotta drive it hard. I gotta push everything. And then, you know, you think it's going to be good, and then you fucking vet something else out. I mean, there's no fucking secret recipe to this thing. It's just, you think you're putting the best parts in, and
Well, that's what warranties are for, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
sure
God,
be
Get
nice.
back to the dealer. What kind of dealer warranty does Bomber Fab have? I don't know.
I'm asking about Summit's warranty for now.
Yeah. I mean, what did you do with this car? Nothing.
Nothing. It's been driven daily.
It was
just
in a
to
Chevy
school
Bel
and
Air
back,
being driven gently
Highway
on the freeway.
gently used. All right, so you cross the line, 48. Did you have any issues 4800 day?
Aside from the couple of flats, the car was pretty solid.
Yeah. That was the only thing, right?
Yep.
And we were all of us in our camp at Hammertown Heights Estates. I was like, don't break the car. Don't break the car. We want to see Amber race on
That's
4,400 days. So I was like, and then when you cross the line, winner on 4,800 day, we were like, fuck yeah, car's good. Don't have much to do. We knew it was teed up for Amber on Saturday.
Dude, I had pulled into my pit and they were changing my radiator when I saw Randy come across
Isn't
the
that
finish line.
crazy?
And I was like, yes,
So
he
that had to be
won.
like a double win for you, right?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
What was your thought process
It was-
at that point?
My first thought was, winner, winner, chicken dinner. And my second thought was, fuck yeah, I'm going racing tomorrow.
Yeah, see? Woo-hoo. Because that had to be in the back of your mind. It's like, if the car, and we know it's racing, it's KOH, anything could fucking happen, like we just talked about here in the last 15 minutes. It's like, if the car goes to shit, your 4400 dream's done.
Well, so, fun story.
Okay, here we go.
Our title sponsor for the 48 car, Freight Factory.
Freight Factory.
So that's Josh. He owns 2 bomber cars.
It's a super cool guy, by the way.
He had actually offered to let me drive the 4400 bomber if Randy had fucked up.
No shit.
Yeah.
48. His 48.
His 48.
His 48 car, yeah.
So you had a backup.
I had a backup.
Oh, shit. I didn't know this
we
story.
Didn't know that.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Super duper sponsor. Josh is a great guy.
Right on. Ooh, we got a little reload going on.
Super great guy, and so I met him. A little backpedal here. Met Josh when he picked up Eric Wick's car at the bomber hangar.
That's right.
We rolled up in our golf carts, and Randy's like, "Who the fuck are these guys coming into our property?" And I thought Josh would be long gone because I knew he was there in the morning. And you guys were still chopping it up, and I roll in and I go, "Oh shit, Josh is still here." But it was super cool. It was towards the end of the day, and got to meet Josh, and he was nice.
I gave him the tour of Bomber World Headquarters, and then I was like, "Hey, you want to go for a ride? You want to follow me around? Take my car out. You can follow me around in that car, or you can ride with me. What do you want to do?" So he ended up opting for, "I'll ride with you."
Yeah.
So we'd gone out and done a little hop lap around the back. So that's why we had been there so long.
Nice. Did he throw up?
He didn't.
No, he didn't. Okay, that's good.
Nope.
Man, he jumped in the deep end this year.
He really did,
Bought the
didn't
48 car and bought the 4400 car and raced both races.
And
it's his first race.
And what happened right off the line? He rolled over.
He had a rookie moment.
I
It's
know
okay.
he had a rookie moment, but the cool thing is he owned it and he laughed about it and he moved on from it, and they did great. They had
did.
a great fucking day.
They finished both races.
Right?
Which is a big deal.
Right? And his co-dog,
Martin.
Oh my God, I met Martin. Super cool guy in the pits there. Yeah, you guys had a big old tent and everything this year, and it was.
We had a great year with Martin and Josh.
Yeah, they've got a great team behind them too.
I really, really appreciate it when a guy like Josh can come out and go, off the deep end, so to speak, with buying a bunch of cars and racing 2 classes right out of the gate, and yet keep a level head and keep a good attitude,
right? And
just enjoy the experience, not get all cocky, not be an attitude,
right?
So many guys are dicks. The more you know them, the less you like them. But
the more you know them, the less you like them.
That guy, the more I know him, the more I like him.
So there you go.
Yep.
And that's kind of the vibe that I got when I first met him, and then seeing the operation down there. And you've never had a tent. You've always been the cowboy.
Not never, just not recently.
Oh, okay. It's just like, but you've been the cowboy of KOH and just super simple.
Yeah, I mean, the year before we were changing out transmissions like on top of bushes.
Right, exactly.
So it's an upgrade.
It's a definite upgrade, and it's cool that somebody like that.
It's super nice to have the tent this year.
Right.
The weather was not conducive to not tenting. So.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's cool. So shout out to Josh and
Freight Factory.
Freight Factory,
SOCAL
SCS SoCal or something is his.
Yeah, SoCal X.
Yeah,
Expedition.
SoCal Expeditions. Yeah, that's a cool partnership you got going on there, and definitely it was cool in the pits. I was in your pits numerous times, and everybody was having a good time. And of course, Nick Bailey, got to give a shout out to Nick Bailey.
Oh, hell
Dude,
yeah.
That guy is insane. He's super level headed, knows his shit. Anything, the worst thing could be going on. He's like, okay, cool, we're going to do this and that. He's like, I'm like, dude, Nick, I've never seen Nick excited. I mean, like, he's like happy when people win and stuff. Like when you cross a line, Nick was like, yeah, right on, fist bump. But it's like, he's like the best like guy to have as a crew chief, right?
It's great to have a level-headed individual running the show.
Yeah.
And smart.
And he's so good at what he does.
He really is.
So
he really
good.
is. He, the only thing is he does have a Toyota 4Runner. So
Hey, easy. You're in the wrong company for that talk.
And
I'd say we outnumber
Randy's
you,
left
but-
the chat.
Well, yeah, but that's the only thing.
Don't
If you
insult
want
the
your old
guests.
CJ schooled, come play with us Toyotas.
To be fair, when I met him, he had a Samurai.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, so we're
I
on level
did not
ground
know
here.
that.
That's
It
how I
had an
met him. He
inline-
had
I
a
did not
Samurai
know
and
that.
Rubicon,
Had
and I
an
ran up
inline
to him.
5 Mercedes diesel.
Oh shit!
What?
I was like, "Hey, nice Samurai," and that's how I meet all my friends.
No, I love Nick. He's
That is
fucking badass.
good people.
He's a certified badass.
He is.
Good
when
people.
shit hits the fan up here, I call Nick.
Everybody does.
Right?
Everybody ought to.
He's the go-to savior. He's the modern day
help,
Jesus.
help.
Captain Save-A-Ho.
All right, so let's. What do you got, Chris?
Well, we got to move on to 4400 day. I
what
mean,
4400?
I do want
Is
to
that
shout
even-
out and say
Oh.
congratulations on your 4800 win. That's super awesome.
Absolutely.
First place,
So cool.
King of the Hammers EMC 2024.
Yeah,
That's
Randy
pretty
Slawson.
cool.
Thank you. I've raced EMC 1, 2, 3, 4 times. This is my 4th time. It took 4 times to get a win. My first time out, we got a second place to the Lovell brothers, and we had a ton of problems, and it was frustrating, but we finally topped the box
That's
in the
awesome.
EMC. So
Yeah,
Very cool.
and that was one of your goals this year. So, whoop whoop.
And that win and preserving the car kind of teed it up for Amber to race the car the next day in the big Race of Kings.
Race of Kings.
Yes, and so your first 4400 race, Amber, so that you had just raced the day before, exhausted, finishing your Samurai, hop out of your Samurai, 24 minutes after the clock, unfortunately. But you get back to camp, and then now you got to gear yourself up for 4400, which I know you. And you were so stoked, but what's going through your head that night before the 4400 race? And I was in the pits with Nick Bailey, with everybody in that tent, converting the 4800 car to a 4400 car, moving the seat up and doing all the tire changes and shit. So what was going through your head like the night before?
Oh,
Like,
don't
what
forget
was your
the pink
strategy?
panels.
What were you thinking? What?
Don't forget about the pink panels.
Yeah.
No, and then had to change the panels because she had to have her pink stripe on the side. Yes.
Heckin' right. That's
So
not
you
thing.
guys showed me the livery. We go out to Old Sharky's down here and have lunch and get a little insight here, a little intel on Wheeling Wine and Whiskey, and you're like, check out this new livery that we got, and I'm like, oh, that's pretty fucking cool. So
a little nod to the Samurai, the pink
right,
stripes.
that's pretty cool. I love how that was. Yeah, a nod, the transition,
Yeah.
the passing of the torch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good way to put it. I like that. The night before, I forgot to eat dinner. And that's
Not the only thing she forgot.
was it?
Uh-oh.
I mean, I know the guys changed out the front diff in the 48 car.
You should tell the story about your mom and your suit.
No.
Oh, I don't know this one. I did see the change of the differential.
This
Okay.
is pretty good.
I did see the
okay.
change of the differential in pit.
I got a hold of, I think it was your dad, and I said, is there any chance that y'all could handle Amber's suit? Because there's a little situation there.
I had a catheter malfunction. Which is
During the day before.
during EMC, yeah, which is pretty
Okay.
typical. So my mom took my fire suit, and she said that she was going to have someone like run into town and launder it and clean
Okay.
it for me. But she ended up washing it by hand in the motorhome. And then she hung it up in the bathroom with the buddy heater at the floor, because the bathroom is its own little area
right.
with
It's
its
like
own
a
little
closet, yeah.
it's doored off. And so she put it in and hung it up there with the buddy heater, and she didn't get any sleep last night because the real music was going back and forth in her head. Dumb ways to die.
She thought for sure that the motorhome was going to burn down.
She thought it was
going to catch the motorhome on fire.
She thought she was going to blow the place up.
Did it dry? Did your suit
it
dry?
dried. My suit was
so it all
100%
worked.
ready to go. Yeah.
I did not know this fucking story, and I was camping feet away from this.
Yeah.
How did I not know this?
My
Damn
poor
whiskey.
mom. She works way too hard.
Your mom, Dolly Golly, Checkpoint Dolly is
This
incredible.
is why we say it takes a community.
It does take a community,
Takes a
and that's the
village.
cool thing.
Yeah.
Our camp is the best fucking camp on that lake bed, and it's cool the people that come into our camp and the resources we have, and just people that are passionate. It's all about passion. And your mom's super passionate about this whole. She spent freaking 6 weeks
I don't think
on
anybody's
the lake
more
bed.
passionate.
Was it 6? Is that the total count? It was.
I don't know.
She was there for like a month
It
beforehand.
was stupid. It was stupid how long.
She went down over New Year's, and she was there from New Year's until
Stayed
the
at Dave's
4400 race.
compound.
So she's like a resident now.
She really is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got mail still coming down to the lake bed.
I
think they finally just got all their cars back from the lake bed too.
Yeah, what's the deal with the Prius? Is it dead?
Stick a fork in it.
Stick a fork in it. It's
Basically,
done.
yeah.
You guys killed it?
The
Is that
timing
what I
changed.
meant?
Amber killed it.
I didn't kill it. It wasn't me. It's an old Prius.
Well,
She took it pre-running.
nice.
That's right. Going to
Pre-running
Dave's place
Yeah,
one
we
night.
took
slash
it
in the
mud
rain.
bogging.
In the rain. That was too much fun. That thing shits and gets. I tell you what. For Prius, Cody Wagner, shout out. Priuses are cool.
Every time we talk about this, I tell Amber there's this. I think it was who are the Third and Reverse guys? Help me out. The movies.
Third and reverse.
I don't know. I never heard
Slow
that.
and the Stupid, Third and Reverse. These are old rock crawling movies.
Oh shit!
Oh, this
I
would
don't know.
be a you question, not any of us. None of us
Okay,
are cool
so
enough for
way
that.
above Amber's head.
There's
Way
this,
above my pay grade.
There's this clip where this really drunk redneck girl in Oregon says, "Because Toyotas rally," and she's all slurring and fucked up. But every time Amber talks about the Prius, I'm like, that just comes into my brain. Toyotas rally.
I just like garbage cars, okay? I like weird shit. That Prius is cool.
Right. No, well, I mean, so yeah, they're getting all their. So they had I made a comment when we were down at the Hammers at Upper Hammertown Heights that I thought that every one of your family's cars were down there. Is that true? I mean, other than
There's some dead ones in the backyard that didn't make it, but I think anything that ran was there.
But I think your father's commuter wasn't there.
Yeah, actually, that was the only car of my parents that didn't make it down to Hammers. So they had the Via Cross, the Jeep, my dad's 4Runner, and their motorhome. I think that was all they brought down.
The Prius.
And the Prius, so that's 5 vehicles.
Yeah,
they had to make two loads.
I know. And I'm like
More or less.
walking up there, and I'm checking. It's like, how the hell? The trailer holds 2 cars, and there's. I don't. The math doesn't work.
No, so the trailer holds 2 cars. So the Jeep and the 4Runner made it down, and then I think my dad drove the Prius. No, my mom must have driven the Prius down, and my dad must have driven the Jeep down.
Okay, well, but
They didn't drive the Jeep down.
the logistics,
did.
the logistics
Oh, wait,
of the
no,
whole
you're
thing.
right.
But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was amusing. I'm like, man, they got like everything except the kitchen sink here. Oh wait, the kitchen sink's in the kitchen.
She was living on the desert floor for 6 weeks.
I told my
know.
mom we just need to buy property down there because
Really
this is
should.
getting out of hand.
That's true. I mean,
Cody just bought another 40 acres. I mean, come on.
Dreams really do come true.
times 2. So
All right. So let's concentrate on 4400.
Race of Kings
both of
Sunday.
you-
Sunday.
so this has been-
Oh wait, Saturday.
My dream for years, ever since I met you, Amber, knowing that you'd race 4400 some year, and it came to reality in 2024 here.
Fruition.
Fruition.
We always said, what
Fruition.
would she be like with a V8?
Yeah, and it's like, let's see what this girl can do. And you fucking crossed the fit. You got a KOH finish.
My first official.
This is where the applause busts out from the control board, but I don't
hit
have
the
the control
control
board.
board
I'll have to
right
blend
now.
that in. More editing.
But Okay. So we talked about I was alluding to the night before, and we got into the race suit. You had to launder it and clean it in the camper and not burn the camper down. Thank you, Dolly.
Dumb ways to die.
So you got a clean race suit on 4400 morning. But what's going through your mind going from your experience at KOH and a Suzuki freaking Samurai, knowing that you are hopping into a badass bomber freaking car? I mean, it's like a kid living their dream, right? It's like, I'm racing a fucking 4400 bomber car on KOH. I mean, so I want to know what's going through your mind up to getting in the car, coming into Hammertown, warming up the diffs, getting to the start line, and taking off. Walk me through that.
So first of all, I didn't drive the first lap.
Oh, that's right.
So I didn't get to have
that's
those.
That's right. Mike did that.
Yeah, all those anticipation jitters. But I had driven the car before, and I think the biggest thing to me was that I was very, 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 very careful with it. I was too careful with it.
Too careful?
And I didn't overdrive it. I didn't want to wreck. I didn't want to break anything. And I was just used to my Samurai, which is pretty much like a twig.
Right.
Comparatively.
And you're driving an oak tree now.
Yeah, exactly.
A 300-year-old oak tree.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was really slow in the desert. I think my I don't know if Mike told me that, but I think Mike told Randy that. I was really slow in the desert because I'm not super confident with the go fast stuff. Because I mean, I drive a Samurai,
That's
right?
not me.
I haven't had a lot of experience.
Peg it and point
I'd be
it.
in the same boat.
Yeah.
But then you get into the rocks, and you're like, I know rocks.
I'm like, I got
I
this.
like rocks.
I know. So at one point, we had gotten up the top of the waterfall on Wrecking Ball, and I was kind of in a precarious situation, and I did a front dig, and I don't know if Mike knew what was going on. Is he? I don't know if he's that experience of a rock crawler.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was like front dig.
I got
get
this.
the front end down a little bit and just do. Go my way. I was pretty proud of that. I was pretty stoked. Front digs are cool.
Right. Oh, the front digs
are cool.
Front digs are great.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, the rocks is I mean, that's my comfort
You
zone.
were at home.
Yeah, I was at home. And I could have pushed it a lot harder. And that's something that I learned this year is like how hard I could go. Which,
So that's
I mean, I
seat
never got
time,
there, but-
right, though? Yeah. I mean, you've had limited seat time in a racing environment in a bomber.
Very limited.
Right? And so that's it. But I can appreciate you being cautious. I mean, it was a fucking rental. You were driving a rental.
I mean, okay, so on one hand, nothing parties like a rental, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that has to work on this rental.
Exactly.
I still have to pay for it when it's broken.
You were invested in this rental.
Yes.
Exactly.
So I was very, very careful with it. And it still runs.
There you go.
No.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood, sweat, and tears, exactly.
Literally.
Yeah. You guys spent a lot of hours putting that car together, and then, but, there was the what if. What if that car frickin' didn't make it to 4400 day, And
Yeah.
But you had a backup. I didn't know that. That's cool.
I had
so
no
Cal
idea.
Josh helped you out with that.
He only told me that like 2 days before the race.
That's
so it's like I didn't
super cool.
anticipate that going into it.
So then you're at 4400 and racing.
I've got a little anecdote.
Okay, go ahead.
For before the race. So I mentioned how Mike qualified the 48 car for 4800, right? Mm-hmm. So Mike also qualified the 48 car for 4400 the next day.
Yep.
And on that day, I didn't give him any instructions. I just said, get a decent start spot. You do you, boo.
You do you, brew.
Boo. You do you, boo. So he shaved a minute off his qualifying time from EMC.
No kidding.
In the same car on the same track. He'd have easily set the pole in 4800 in EMC. He would easily set the pole. But I said that I didn't want to be on the pole. I didn't want that target on our backs all day. But the car's The car's fast.
Right.
It's fun to have that bragging, right? It's fun to have that confidence, going into a race being like, yeah, we're the fastest one here.
Sure.
But we've already talked about that. Having that target on your back all day and
not the best
not
position.
having any corrected time in your back pocket, so to speak. And Jason Shear talks about it in his race recap from this year, because he's basically set the pole for, I don't remember what it's been, 7-8 years in a row.
Right.
And he said in his podcast, or not podcast, in his recap video for YouTube, he was like, I'm tired of that. I'm tired of having the target on my back.
Right.
We just wanted to be top 20,
Right. Right.
So
it's not advantageous to be number one qualifier, number two.
So Mike started the race, 44 day in the 48 car, and he said, I was driving smart, I was driving clean, I wasn't driving fast, I wasn't driving hard, I wasn't beating the car up, and I'm passing, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 cars because they didn't do their homework. They're off in the rough, and I'm just cruising along, just passing people. So it just goes to show you don't have to have the most expensive car.
Nope.
You just have to do your homework, and you have to be smart and smooth and clean.
Mm-hmm.
Smart, smooth, and clean.
Do
That's
your
the name of
research.
this podcast.
Be smart. There's a lot of options for names.
But no, it's true, and I love hearing that, and it's great because there's a lot of teams out there that have big sponsors and everything behind them, and you would think they got the best quote unquote car and gonna finish on the podium, but KOH just vets all that shit out, and it's like, who is the best driver, who is the best navigator, who is the smoothest driver.
You said vets it all out.
Yeah.
So in the old Hammers videos, they call the rocks the great equalizer.
Right. So it's like as in our terms, Chris, the back nine at Masters on Sunday.
On Sunday.
And that's what the rocks are, right? Like, who's the best in the rocks? Who can battle this shit out? And it really does come to that.
Who plays best under the pressure?
Yeah, and it's fun to hear these stories. Okay, so 4,400 day. We're here. The big dance, and you're going in, Amber, and you get into the rock section. And what's it like? I mean, going from a fucking Suzuki Samurai, which is arguably the worst car to race KOH in, to a Bomber, which is arguably one of the better cars to race in the rocks in. What was that like? What was that?
Only
that
better,
transition?
not the best?
I said the best.
Okay.
I said
from the same
arguably
room.
the best.
I misunderstood.
I did say that.
Okay. It was.
It might be the whiskey, but I did say that. Let's roll back the tape, Chris.
No.
I said arguably the best.
drawing
Go
the
on.
line here.
Okay, here we go.
Going from a Samurai to a Bomber. Like I said, I was very, very, very careful.
Right?
And it was pretty obnoxious, to be honest, how careful I thought I needed to be with that car. But I didn't winch. I never got stuck.
No.
None of that stuff. And some of these trails I had actually never seen before because I didn't have time to pre-run 46 and a 44 course. Not to mention I didn't have a car to pre-run the 44 course in because all I've got's my Samurai, right? But what can I say? They're super capable cars. And if what you want to do is go fast through the rock trails at Hammers, then they just eat that stuff up.
Right.
And the more you want to lean into it and give it hell, like the better it's going to do.
So what was...
That's exactly what Josh and Martin said when I took them out pre-running at New Year's. They're like, the more you push it, the more they just love it.
They want, give me more.
Yeah.
Hit me harder.
Let it eat.
So what's Mike doing in the passenger seat during this time? Like, how's he coaching you along, or is he just drive your race? What's going on there in the conversation in the headset?
Well, like when we were going fast, he was actually giving me a lot of really good pointers to like how to control the weight of the car with the throttle and the brake and stuff like that. And I learned a lot from him in the Goes Fast stuff. And he had a couple of good line choices in the rocks, and he was really.
So that's a good point, because a lot of us that are following the race that aren't obviously in the car, the rock lap is not just rocks. I mean, you do some desert stuff. And so that's pretty cool, because that's where he excels. And, you know, the right seat is like a therapist, a GPS guide, the whole thing. And that's what I want to know is like.
That right seat's got to hype you up when you're down and
right?
talk you down when you're hyped up too much and tell you where to go and how to do it. And like that right seat's more important than anybody gets some credit for.
The mental aspect of that, right? To keep you in the game when you're starting to get tired, or you're just mentally like effed up about whatever the situation is. You're stuck in turkey claw or whatever it may be. That right seat plays a super important role. They're not just pushing buttons and telling you where to go. And then that's what's super cool. But you know, so what did you learn from Mike in those, you know, the desert and the rocks?
Well, I mean, like Randy just said, the right seat has a lot of responsibilities, but overall, he was a teacher for me.
So did he bring you? Because I know you for a while, and I could just imagine you all giddy in the frickin' I'm driving a fucking bomber car in 4400 class. Did he just like mellow you out, or what was that conversation like?
I don't think he even had to mellow me out, because
really?
I was just so nervous about hurting the car.
Really? Okay,
yeah.
so you mellowed yourself out. You were self-regulated from that standpoint.
But I'm sure at some point you probably realized the car is durable and you can push it. I mean, you probably had that. When was that aha moment? It's like,
well, it was when we were on top of Wrecking Ball, like I just said, and I did the front dig and I brought it back down. You know, that was pretty much the only moment where I felt that I was losing a little bit of control. Okay, but I knew exactly how to regain it.
Get it back. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
And like I said, I was painfully slow in the desert, so I never lost control there.
Right. I get it. Any incidents or anything during the, last half of the race there?
I mean, we've kind of gone on and off topic and haven't really gone in.
We've been
order,
on. That's this podcast. Welcome to Wheeling Wine and Whiskey.
I know, geez, squirrel.
We cover a lot of topics, though.
Yeah,
it's good shit.
But so, one of our biggest hiccups was on lap 2, because 4400 is a 3-lap race, right?
Right.
We did it was an offshoot, and it went up.
Blue Dot.
Yeah.
And Thor's Hammer to Upper Johnson to whatever that whole peninsula loop
thing. Yeah.
Back
on
to
lap
pit 2. Should have been done on lap 3, but they did it on lap 2.
2 and 3.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we ended up doing that whole loop and then coming back into pit, and they told us what was wrong and how to fix it. So what we did was we didn't go backwards on course, but we basically cut from pit 2 back to course and dropped Thor's Hammer? King's Veto.
King's Veto.
Dropped King's Veto to make lap 2 count.
Okay.
And then did it all again on lap 3. So I probably drove more miles than any other racer.
So you missed a trail, and in pit 2 told you got to come back and hit that trail?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I was in pit 2 and watched them do it. So I knew where they'd gone wrong, and I was radioing to Nick, and Nick went to race ops, and we all put our heads together on what she needed to do to make it legit.
Okay.
And she had to go back up the mine road and run, or not the mine road, but
it's like the side
exit
trail
from Claw Wrecking Ball and go down King's Veto to get to kind of finish up, so to speak, her lap 2. But then she had to run all of the trails that she'd already run for lap 3 again. So like she already touched on, she ran more rock mileage than anybody out there.
Yeah.
Wow.
We should have done her.
So that would have saved you some time.
Yeah, that would have saved me a couple positions.
It was
at least.
50 minutes.
Oh shit.
To do that loop.
And that was a big learning curve for us this year, especially since, like, you know, I only ran the 46 course and I really didn't know what the 44 laps 2 and 3 consisted of, or what I needed to do on lap 2 and what I need to do on lap 3. And then the VCP thing too was new to me because me and Stuart and Tom have never had navigation that's good enough to show us where the VCPs are. But yeah, so I beat myself up a lot about the VCPs that I missed and the other things on course that I might have missed, like the big loop that I did twice. So, you know, like we've been over a billion times, it's just a matter of doing your homework.
Sure. Do your homework.
Well, mistakes get made, unfortunately, but you learn from them, right? So
when you don't run a competitive car, it doesn't matter what you do out there. But once you're in a fast car, now all this navigation stuff comes into play. And you have to,
all the scoring.
You have to do it right if you want it to count.
Cross your T's and dot your I's.
Yep.
Absolutely, for sure.
No, that's so true. Wow. I didn't know these stories.
This is great.
It's just like we try to impress this stuff on the rookies, and I feel like it's too much for them. And then, I don't know, this is my own perspective, but like when you come into racing the first time, it's like, yeah, just run your own race. It's just another trail ride, and it's not another trail ride. You're racing.
Yeah.
If you're not moving, you're part of the race course.
Yeah.
There it is.
There it is.
So.
If you want to make really good traction for Randy Slawson, just sit there.
And
in the race line.
This is where you need to insert Ramblin' Man. You need to insert that song right here, Chris. Make that happen.
Wow.
Note to self. Put that timestamp on there. But no, so this is cool. These are the stories that we vet out here in this podcast, and I love this. Because this is not what we see on the live feed or anything else.
No, not at all. Not by any
You know what else you didn't see on the live feed?
Okay, what else?
During the driver's meeting, when Dave was up there and he said, for all you 40... Oh, I'm going to call people out. No,
Go ahead, call them out. Call them out.
For all you 4,600 racers that are complaining about dropping King's Veto and we're beating up on your car and breaking stuff, well, Amber Hannah did it in her Samurai.
Hell yeah. Arm pump.
Suck it up, Buttercup.
Hell yeah, exactly. Suck it up, Buttercup.
That was so awesome. Thank you, Dave.
But Amber did it.
But that's cool. I mean, you and that's the great thing is, 5 years racing your Samurai on the world's one toughest, one day race. That's cool. You've been acknowledged. You've made a statement, right? I mean, it's like it's like, hey, this girl in a Samurai is making this shit happen. You guys complaining about this bullshit. Just do it. Just go out and race. Send it.
I just want to do cool shit.
Right?
That's right.
Exactly.
That's
and that's
right.
the cool thing.
And if you don't want to do cool shit, don't show up.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Stay in camp.
Well, I just want to say, Amber, that's super cool that you were in an awesome car and you kicked ass in the 4,400 race. And oh, man. How cool is that? Where did you end up finishing? What, 22nd or something?
Officially 21st.
21st.
Yeah, so
21st.
right out of top 20. And that was our goal, was top 20. But if 21st
right there,
is right
damn,
there.
so close. But yeah, I mean, just to finish and make all that happen.
Yeah, to have a KOH finish, I mean, probably 80% of the field doesn't
the
have
attrition
that.
rate, right?
No. Yeah.
Like I tell people, you can, not anybody, but you can go out there and drive around and finish. Any car, not any car. You know what I mean.
I know what you
like,
mean.
it's not that difficult to drive around and put in the laps.
Right.
And do the mileage.
Right.
The difference between driving around and finishing and driving around and winning is a big difference.
Huge.
Like, it's so much harder on the equipment, and it's so much more mentally taxing, and it's so much harder to navigate at speed. And we just wanted to get our feet wet this year. And, the more you race, the better you do. So And
experience.
When I started, I right seated for John Reynolds, and we won the first race we ever did. And then from there on out, all I've ever wanted to do is win.
Right.
And it took me a few years to get a program together for myself where that was a reality for me. But once you win, that's the only thing that matters.
That's the only thing that matters. Yeah.
I don't show up to get second place.
No.
And if I get second place, it's probably more devastating than DNFing.
First place loser, right?
Right? Yeah, first place loser.
First loser, that's right.
And that's it. I mean,
Checkers or wreckers.
Yeah. I mean, that's what we've always said. There's two different people racing KOH, to finish or to podium. And yeah, you just summed it up right there.
And then the people in between too. Like I was just thinking of John Webb when you guys were talking about this.
Oh my God.
Because like not
John
just
Webb's the coolest, one of the coolest stories to come out of this year for me.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like
He burnt
not
his
just,
car to the ground and then podiumed.
Yeah, he was third, right?
He finished third.
4,400.
4,400. So back this bus up to
all the way
Ramblin'
back
Man.
to Ramblin' Man.
Saturday. Yeah, to Ramblin' Man, exactly.
Back it all the way up.
He was the one playing Ramblin' Man when...
Driving around hoping to finish.
Yeah,
He's been driving around in 4,400 class for that long, and he's just been he probably has a more consistent finish record than anybody else.
He
in the
really
field.
does, and that yeah, you look back on the whole thing, absolutely. And I just happened to be at Shear's camp that morning for the Jason Berger CrossFit Challenge. And luckily, I just observed it. I didn't do it, or else I wouldn't be here talking to you right
exercise right here.
now. Yeah, it was.
Chris's finger is moving.
Well,
You got it
For
all
you
wrong.
it was crazy. It was intense.
It's the 12-ounce curls.
But I will say, John Dirtbag Clothing fucking did the whole CrossFit, and he almost died, but he made it. But John Webb's in the background, and Jason Berger comes up to me, and he goes, "Yeah, John's car burned up last night." I'm like, "What?"
With him in the trailer with
I can't
it.
even comprehend what you just said.
We've
And then,
talked
so
about
they-
that.
It was
finished-
raining inside his trailer.
Yeah.
And he was like, "What's that smell?" And
It's
it was
gas.
gasoline.
Not good.
So super cool. We went up and we were all
Could
it
have
was
died
like-
that night.
Yeah,
Very, very likely.
there was like 14 people of us walking up to his trailer, looked at the carnage. John drug his trailer down to Shear's camp and unloaded the car, and we're like, holy crap. I mean, it needed to be rebuilt. Not an entire rebuild, but it was like a 3/4 rebuild. And and the cool thing is, and we talk about this all the time on the podcast, of all the fellow racers. I mean, the Gomez, crew came over and says, "We got 14 guys to work on your car right now. 14 fucking guys we got for you right now, and not just average Joes, people that know how to work on fucking cars." So it's just cool to see him go from the Falcon. The Phoenix to go from ashes to
Rise of the
rising
Phoenix.
up.
I feel like
But
it's more of a Cinderella story.
It is.
Cinderella
and it's just
story.
Another, I mean, one of the million stories that talks about this Ultra 4 family of how everybody helps each other. We're going to beat you on the track, but we're going to help you in the pits, and that's super freaking cool.
Yeah.
And John...
And they didn't beat him on the track.
Yeah, beat him on the track.
He didn't.
No, they
beat him
didn't beat him on the
No,
track.
no, he didn't.
Because he took third.
No, they didn't. Yeah,
Like how
third place.
he deserves it.
I mean, how
He's worked hard for that
crazy
shit.
is that? And there was so many great stories. Every year are great stories at KOH, but it's just fun to talk about this stuff on this podcast and hear some of this insight, Chris.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I heard like 6 stories tonight. I'm in freaking Hammertown Heights Estates camping with these people, and I didn't even know some of these stories.
That's the
Where
whole
the hell
point.
was I?
Well, there was one night we couldn't find you.
Just one? I thought he was asleep.
I was over at Ultra 3.
Well, that's
No, you were
right across the street.
you were asleep one night. We were
there.
looking for you. Where's Jason? Everybody's calling him, and he's gone. He's nowhere to be seen.
Yeah,
But that's
he got
another
him.
story.
But
so.
no, it's cool shit. So, all right. So let's do a little summary. Takeaways from KOH 2024. Amber, go.
Drive faster.
Okay. You got you
wanna
experience
elaborate?
and yeah. Yeah.
I got my experience, and now I just want to go fast.
So we're gonna take the valet key out of the car now.
Yeah, right. Like, so you have it's like the Can-Ams with the slow teenage key, and now you're gonna plug in the big boy key that you're just gonna send it next year.
I don't know. Can I?
I've got a funny one for you whenever you're ready.
Oh boy.
Okay, go, Randy.
So we were talking about she touched on very briefly the catheter malfunction.
Oh shit!
So I am a problem solver. I love problems. I love to figure out how to fix problems.
Right.
So I'm gonna put a switch on the dash, and that switch is gonna be attached to a scavenge pump. And it's gonna suck a vacuum.
Oh shit!
You get where I'm going?
I get exactly where you're
So
going.
it's going to pull a vacuum before the business needs to happen so that regardless of whether or not that thing's sealed, it's going to be good.
Okay, so another funny story.
I have no words.
I got some comments, but I can't say them.
Oh, why are we talking about this?
There's no problems. There's just solutions. That's
Yeah.
what Randy's saying.
That's what I'm trying to say
There's
here.
no problems. There's just solutions.
Hey.
I love it.
I'm a problem solver.
Yes.
You give me a
Yes,
problem,
you are.
I'm going to lose
Yes,
sleep
you are.
over it until I figure out what the
Right.
solution is.
Right. I like it. It's going to be a windshield wiper pump. Just
A rear windshield wiper.
No. We don't need to push. We need to pull. I want to suck a vacuum on that thing.
Oh my goodness.
No blowing. We want to suck. Mega
I don't know why they
Mega
don't
Maid
call
went
it a
from
suck
suck to
job.
blow, or blow to suck.
Thank you for that.
and that's why we have an E label after our
All right.
It's okay. We needed the Spaceballs reference.
Okay, that's good. That's good. All right. So, other than that, Randy, what's your takeaway from KOH 2024?
Apparently, it sucks.
King of the Hammer should suck more.
Hey,
The harder it is, the better I do.
Right?
Let's make King of the Hammers great again.
Yep,
Adversity.
amen.
Make King of the Hammers great again.
I agree. No,
No,
I mean,
it is.
Let's
And,
run Up Dead Blow.
So what?
slash
We didn't
King's
talk
Graveyard.
about. We didn't.
Thanks for that, Justin Wicks. Great idea.
What's that? Up dead blow.
Up Dead Blow.
Up dead blow.
Up dead blow. Hey,
Let's
so
make King of the
let's
Hammers the hardest one-day race in the world. Not just talk about making
It
it hard.
is. It is, and there is. I wonder what the thought process is there, but like Medusa and what was the other trail? We
Bigfoot?
ran up? Bigfoot.
Yeah, I don't
And they
know
weren't
if
even
anybody
run
that did Bigfoot.
during the race.
So I think Chase Caprera posted that he did it in his bomber pre-runner. So I don't know if he actually did it during the race or not, but I don't know of anyone that did it during
I
the
don't think
race.
anybody did it during the race.
Yeah,
and
but-
it was like optional, and like they were new trails, so they're super loose. We went up Bigfoot wreck wheeling, so obviously we took our own sweet time. But you put your tire on a rock you want to be on, and it'd slip out. You put another tire on a rock, slip out, and it was fun going up Bigfoot. Medusa, fuck that shit.
no, that was not
Right,
fun.
Chris?
No,
Fun fact
going down
too,
it?
my sister's the one that named that.
She did?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Excuse me. Not
Well-
named. Broke. She drove it in Dave's car. Dave said, "Let's go up there," and she drove it
Yeah.
She
was-
drove it
she
in
was
the
the-
old
she
bomber
drove
car?
up it.
in the bomber trail.
In the
rig.
old bomber
She was the
trail
first
bomber.
one to drive it
Yep.
ever.
Get
And
the
that
fuck out.
Dave even said it in the live show.
Oh, I didn't.
Wow.
How did I miss that?
It was just a little tidbit.
Your mom was on the live show.
Yeah, we were all in the
It
live
was
show.
pretty funny. The Hannah name was brought up more on the live show than any other name.
It was. It was. I did not know Sarah drove that freaking tackle box.
Yep.
Wow.
Tackle box,
Fun
Sarah.
story.
I don't think Chris will ever go down
I don't like
Medusa
that
ever
trail.
again. Don't like that trail.
Nope.
That's okay.
Did it make your butt
I'm glad
pucker?
we did it.
Oh yeah.
I just thought it was cool that Dave gave us those options. Like, you can either make it as hard as you want to, and then also goes to show, like, Dave's probably a better rock crawler than all of us.
Really?
I think so. If he wants to put a trail that he can do in his bomber
Yeah.
in the race course,
Well,
and he expects all of us to make that into a race line.
I've got a funny little anecdote.
and I love that Dave uses a bomber to set the course, but go on there, Randy.
So you just set the what's the word I'm looking for? You set the scene perfectly for me.
Yeah.
So I was out pre-running in 22, when we did, I believe the trail was called Legit. It was near Fissure Mountain.
Okay.
And when I was pre-running, I caught up with Eric Miller, and Lauren Healy happened to be there. And he said, Randy, we need to get that bomber away from Dave. And I just laughed. I was like, hell to the no. Like, that bomber makes this race legit.
And that was a little nod, right, from other fellow people that know shit.
Well,
Lauren wants it to be an IFS racetrack.
Right?
I want it to be a rock crawl.
Right.
Miller
Make
drives
it
a
legit.
solid axle car.
Oh,
Right.
Miller didn't say that.
Oh, he didn't.
Lauren said
Lauren
that.
said
Oh,
that.
We
great.
need to get that bomber away from Dave.
Between three kings.
Really want to whiskey.
All the stuff you hear here, that's awesome.
So cool. It is. It's good shit, and that's what makes this fun, man. This
Absolutely.
race is incredible.
I'm on the
There's-
opposite side of that fence. You make it hard, yeah. Like if I'm intimidated, if you intimidate me, you're gonna have Lauren and all those IFS boys shaking in their little
Right?
boots.
I think you said that in that video
You did say it in that
interview
video.
you did. Yeah, it's like the harder.
The harder it is, the better I'll do.
Right.
Yeah. Well, the harder everybody else, or the harder you think it is, the more it's going to scare the shit out of the other
That's
guys.
right. That's what I love.
If I'm
I love
intimidated,
that
they're going to be
quote.
crying.
And
to their
I've
little
wheeled with
moms.
you, and I
Oh,
can
boy.
verify that.
Wow.
So he wheels with me instead.
Wheeling Wine and Whiskey calling out the IFS guys. I love it.
Yeah, bring it on. Bring
right
it on.
Right on. Well,
Man,
Make KOH hard again.
you know, and there is something to be said about that. It's like,
So it's a very delicate balance.
Right.
And this is the balance. I want it hard, but Dave's thing, this is what I believe Dave's thing is. You have to make a race course that doesn't just turn into a bottleneck.
sure.
So
Like
that's
Turkey
why
Claw.
that's why
Yeah.
well, he missed the point. he missed the
it
mark
there.
there.
That's okay.
So
The rest of us
that's
did
why
too.
lap by lap by lap he makes it harder.
Right.
We run the desert in the
People get
beginning
spread
to
out.
thin people out.
Yep.
And then we run an easy rock lap. And then he starts throwing all the hard stuff at
Yeah.
us to really challenge us. But I want to be challenged a little more.
I love it.
Or a lot more.
Or a lot more.
I can go
and
for a
lap
lot more.
4 is the Slawson lap.
Lap 4.
If there was a fourth lap, there would be mark my words, very few finishers.
Right. Right.
Right on.
So yeah, with that said, I mean, because this is getting long, but I would love to see it be a race where the finisher is coming in at dusk. I mean, like, let's
not 1 o'clock.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try 5 or 6.
Yeah, let's try 5 or 6 dinner
Yeah.
time.
Yep. Yep.
Cocktail hour. Let's see some people come in later because, and that's the cool balance that has been going on throughout the years of KOH is like, here you are as a racer saying, give me more harder shit. I can build a car to make this course my bitch. And and then, you know, and you have, and everybody else has that is in the top tier of this sport. But let's see some, you know,
Up dead blow.
yeah, let's see some crazy fucking shit. And it's not winching. I don't want to see this European, Jim Gigglepin, I got to winch everywhere to get through a
I can
race
go
course.
30 mile an hour on a winch line.
Exactly. I want to see tires spinning, driver skill, cars mechanical put to the test, you know.
Over the last few years, we've seen, like, we gauge how hard it is by the golf carts.
Yeah.
If the golf carts come in just after lunch, it's going to be an easy day.
Right.
Because the golf cart course is close enough to what we're going to race.
Right.
That it's a very easy gauge for what our day is going to look like.
So with that said, what has been the hardest year of KOH in your opinion? What was the best?
21.
21.
Dead blow.
Yep. I agree with you.
So Shannon
sure.
Welch told me years ago, she said all of the hardest years, the best way to quantify that is finishers. All the years with the least finishers, you've won. She told me this. So I have won all of the hardest King of the
years,
Hammers.
quote unquote hardest years. Yeah. God, that's cool.
There you go. Let's make it hard again.
Solid axles, make solid axles great again. So let's do this. We got Dave Coles here. Let's make him make this course harder next year for 2025.
I'm trying. I mean, like the day after the 4400 race, I went up to him and I gave him a big hug and I said, Dave, that course was real nice for a samurai.
Oh, boy.
Okay, there it is. I can't top that. I can't top that.
Nope.
And coming from you,
He looked really grateful, and then it hit him that he'd just been owned. It was the realization when it crossed his face. I watched that moment. Oh,
so cool.
I felt real bad. I feel
hot.
bad making that guy feel bad. But I want the course to be harder.
Truth hurts. I think the course needs to be harder too. I want to see more Medusa in there and Bigfoot, right, Chris?
No.
No. You don't even want to watch people
Or
go
dead
into
blow.
that.
Let's run up
Or
HIV.
dead blow. Yeah.
Over bombs away.
And that's the cool thing. I mean, let's just kind of zoom out to 30,000 feet looking over King of the Hammer. There is so much capability, possibilities, and the trails.
some of the stuff that Dave put in this year. What was the next to the last one? Oh, it wasn't next to the last one. What was the alternate for 1920? What did he call it? Check Me Out.
Oh, check me out.
So
The
lap
one that
3,
Kyle
check me
missed.
out.
Yeah.
Dave told me how he named that. He said he saw some potential off this mine road. We've run this thing for 20 years.
Right.
He goes, I wonder why we've never gone over there. And he just dropped a pin on the map. He said, he called it Check Me Out. He didn't name the trail. He just said, come back and check this out. And he ran it and went in the race, and he got lazy and just called the trail Check Me Out.
Well, there you go.
Or CBS. You remember CBS?
Cowboy butt sex.
I wasn't going to spell it out for the listeners, but yeah, that one. That doesn't need to be part of the race course. But
that was a Texas Jesus thing.
yeah.
Oh, wait. I'm wearing a Texas Jesus shirt.
Hot dang.
Look at that.
Shout out.
We'll take your word for it.
What's up, Tex?
Is it up there?
Oh, now we got a striptease.
Now we're seeing
All
way
right.
too much skin.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Wait.
You got a strip tease going on here.
He definitely has the 40 sweatshirt on, though. Oh, that is the Texas Jesus.
Oh,
Today.
it is a Texas Jesus
It is a
t-shirt.
Texas Jesus shirt.
There you go.
Shout out.
Shout out to Texas Jesus Ultra 3.
Proper.
But yeah, no, that's cool. Our KOH family is fun.
I think the point is, like, there's only, like, the trails that get put into the race course is only, like, a quarter or maybe a third of all the trails.
It's
that are out there.
untapped. There's so much potential out there.
Yeah.
So much potential. And
Every time I go down there, Dave's like, there's this thing I've been looking at. It's over here. And then the next time there's other deal. And half the time, I don't think he ever follows through on it. But the potential down there is insane.
huge.
Yeah.
For years to come.
Infinite.
That Check Me Out thing, like, it's legit. Like, there's some good rock crawling down there. If I go down there again with my racer car, I'd go run Check Me Out.
Right?
There's some big rocks. And King of the Hammers has a way of just burning in bypasses around everything and making the race line, making it easy as possible, right? But there's some amazing rocks out there.
Have you ever run Sunbonnet?
Yes.
It's like there's a really good balance, I feel, in Sunbonnet, and maybe it's just me and the Samurai on 35s, but like there's a good balance of big rocks that would be fun on rock crawlers and like 35 tire stuff.
Yeah.
So,
No, absolutely.
Same with Sledgehammer. Sledgehammer just gives and gives and gives.
and it's beautiful.
It's such a great night wheeling trail.
Oh,
I
geez.
love sledge. Yeah, sledge.
You
is
can
great.
run it with a Samurai on 35s and drive the whole thing.
Not without a winch.
But there are some big, nasty, cool lines on Sledge.
Yeah.
It's this kind of stuff where you can make it as hard or as easy as you want to. It's like
exactly.
Sand Hollow, just the rocks are chunky. It's not all sandstone.
Right. Yeah. No, that's true, and that's the
I like
cool.
boulders.
I like boulders.
I like boulders.
I like rocks.
I like rocks.
I like
retarded,
rock.
I got
but I
some
like
in my
rocks.
pocket. No, that's the thing, right?
I got
mean,
this
it's
one
just-
over there. Look at it. It's smooth and
But
shiny.
this is the cool thing. I mean, it's like we're all rock crawlers at heart, and you guys are doing it at a whole nother freaking level as wreck wheelers, but you came from wreck wheeling. You still love wreck wheeling, and, you know, you just do it on race day, and that's freaking fun. But, yeah. Well, okay. Chris
What?
keeps looking at the fucking.
Well,
he's
I'm
giving us the cutoff
looking at
sign.
the battery indicator. But,
Or battery's going
Dun,
down.
dun, dun.
No, this
Some
is
great
super cool.
stories here.
I mean, what a great recap. I'm glad both of you had a wonderful time at King of the Hammers. Your podium winning first place, winning 4,800 for Randy.
4,800 with a brand new car.
First time finisher
That's for sale,
Amber.
by the way, right?
Very cool.
We overalled the EMC. Not just 48. Anyway.
But also,
Yeah, so-
we need to recap what ended your 44 race. Today.
Yeah, I didn't want to bring that up, but go ahead. Okay,
I'm
bring
sorry.
that up. Now that you brought that up, Amber, what ended the 40?
We need a roundabout thing for the listeners, for not everybody that knows the story.
For not everybody that knows the story,
Sorry.
I spent too much time getting that 48 car dialed in to the point where we were able to win, and I did not do my homework on the 44 car.
Really?
And I raced the slowest, worst handling 44 car I've ever raced. And it's simple stuff. It's all things we'll rectify here shortly.
Okay.
But I ended up out, like Tom Way says, in the cabbage, and I hit a bush and cut a serpentine bell wrapped around the crank pulley and managed to tear up a main seal. And that's a first one for me. I've never lost the front main seal over built carnage or any other kind of bushes or drama.
Sure.
But that was what finished my day off.
You got to keep it out of the bush.
Dang it.
During race day only. So what? So how do you rectify that? Is there some shields in place coming up, or what?
Well, I've thought about that. The real issue is, for me personally, like I had suspension woes and I had steering woes that led to a car
Getting
that
into
was
the bush.
a car
You
that
shouldn't have been in the bush.
I should never have been in the bush to begin
Okay.
with.
All right.
Cabbage.
All right. The cabbage is
Cabbage.
Waze puts it.
Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
Live and learn.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and that was because when I heard you blew a front main seal, I'm like, well, how does that even happen?
I don't know.
But I heard about the trials and tribulations after that, and okay. All right, well,
This was a great year for me. For the first time ever, I had sponsors approach me.
right.
I got Pella Motors hit me up and said, we'd like to work with you. We'd like to get on the side of the car. What's it going to take? And Josh at Freight Factory hooked up with us and helped us out a little bit. Put the name on the side of the car, and we had some other little things here and there go on. You know, Brett King always helps out with our wraps and helps out with parts and pieces and some credit at the factory for shocks and this and that. So it was a good year, all in all.
Yeah, the support, it came together. I know you were pretty excited, and when we did our last podcast, we were looking for a sponsor to help out with the 4,800 car, and
it
Josh
happened.
stepped up, right?
Yeah.
And super cool because, you know, as we've talked about before on other podcasts, this shit ain't free, and people think that racers in your position that have won 3 KOHs are
Everybody assumes that I'm loaded.
exactly.
If they saw my
And
house and my daily driver.
Shannon Campbell and all these other people, like, no, you're funding your own freaking racing. Yes, you get some parts and shocks and all this stuff, and that's great because that is expensive hardware. But you're not you're not getting rich off this shit. This is a passion. This is what you do. You got a business doing this stuff, but it's not this golden ticket of like, oh, well, here's $100,000. Go raise KOH.
Hey, if anybody wants to kick me $100,000,
Right?
Chris. It would be a first. It would be awesome.
Get my
Money.
wallet. Hang on.
Chris is reaching for his wallet right now. But no, seriously, and that's the thing, and it's like, the old saying, you wanna make $1 million in racing, you better have 3 million. So
Better start with
Or a
10
billion.
and stop.
Right.
You only have one left.
Right.
all right, so let's get you mentioned some of the sponsors. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about people you want to thank that made this KOH 2024 happen.
I think Amber's got the list.
Yeah, Amber's got the list.
I've got 2 lists. 'Cause he's got a
look
list
at
and I've
you.
got a list.
Okay.
But, so first and foremost, Freight Factory, Josh, SoCalX. Obviously, they stepped up and made the car happen.
Yes.
My second sponsor for the Samurai was Sierra Energy Savers. They're a solar company out of Northern California.
They've been with you for a while.
Calsun was with me
Oh,
for a
that's
while,
right, that's
and now Sierra Energy Savers stepped in this year.
Okay.
And made a huge contribution, really helped out the program. Holly Performance.
Little fuel injection.
Yeah. Little kind of big deal this year.
6 extra horsepower.
Yeah.
10%.
10%. Thank you.
Bigger numbers are make it sound big. Yep.
That's how you spin it.
Yeah. And one of the other new sponsors was RCV.
Oh, yeah, that's huge.
on.
That was really cool.
Orange toilet plungers. Very nice.
Worked
I
really
got
nice.
those on my rig.
And then down the line, it's Warren and BFG and Trail Ready Bead Locks, King Shocks, Trail Tough, Morphlate,
Wheeling Wine and Whiskey.
Wheeling Wine and Whiskey,
Oh, Wheeling Wine.
She gets quieter.
Jesse Combs Foundation.
Wheeling wine and whiskey.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, super cool. Super cool.
Yep. And for Randy,
Oh, here we go. She's got you covered, Randy.
The big cars.
The big cars. 4,400.
Dun dun dun.
Please be my guest.
okay. So for the Bombers, the Bomber race team
Yes.
of KOH 2024, the title sponsor was Pella Motors. We've said that. So if you guys want to buy a Ford, Chevy, or Dodge,
Ford, Chevy, or Dodge.
Anywhere. I mean, they'll deliver anywhere.
They'll
That's
ship
pretty
it
cool.
to your
Yeah.
front door.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Sweet.
So,
Yep.
Chris, you can get a new
Please let them know
your
that I
front
sent
door.
you.
or a new Chevy.
Or a new Chevy. Somebody got a used Chevy.
Righty.
We got all
Hey,
three
we do.
flavors at the
We're
ranch.
That's a bag
today.
for another cat.
We're all recognized in my driveway right now. We got Ford, Dodge, and Chevy in my driveway
That's
right
right.
now.
Yeehaw, America!
the
Fuck
best
yeah!
ones.
America. Yeah, there ain't no fucking Toyotas in my driveway
No.
right now. Okay,
We
go
can
on.
fix that.
I guarantee that tomorrow there'll be a Toyota. in
No,
your
there
driveway.
won't. Our gate's closed.
I bet.
Moose should have told you out front. Okay, go on.
So, like I said, Pella Motors. Then on down the line, King Shocks, BFG Tires, Trail Ready Beadlocks, so on and so forth.
Hey, don't stop there.
Don't stop there.
Oh,
How about Bulldog Winch?
yeah. Bulldog's been with Randy for a long time.
That was my very first sponsor.
Very first
Ooh.
sponsor. That's super cool.
Got to give them their just desserts, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Over here. I mean, I gave them their just desserts on the podium, or not the podium, the finish line. When
Yeah,
they crossed.
yeah. The
Sweet.
box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're actually really helpful.
That's super cool. And it's like I say, it takes a village to make this happen, and it's cool that teams support, and it's nice that people, came out this year to help you guys. Because holy crap, if you don't know about bombers at KOH, you're not paying attention.
Are
so.
you really a fan?
Are you really a fan?
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
But on another note, like a shout out to Trail Ready, because they got us a set of wheels in a huge pinch. So that
Yep.
was super cool of them to do.
Right on.
Well,
Right on.
that was a big one.
I needed some wheels that were double drilled for liners, and I didn't have any. And they were able to get me some on the lake bed.
No shit.
Yeah.
wow.
And had you not had those with your double flat, that could have been a different
Could've-
story.
Yeah, it could have been a game changer.
Dude, we were watching that shit in Hammertown Heights Estates on the screen. And I'm like, he's got 2 flats. How is this happening right now? And you just, obviously at a slower pace, but still going. And I'm like,
clicking away.
you're just making it happen.
Well, you didn't have much choice.
Well, no, but
keep chugging.
You play the hand you're dealt, right?
right,
That's right.
right.
So let's go back to sponsors. We got
Okay.
So going on
this
down
is
the
off the
list.
top. J.E. Reel. Jim at J.E. Reel has been awesome. His drive lines never fail, and he always gets us drive lines.
Whatever you need.
Yeah.
Whatever
Whatever
we need
you
for
need.
drive
Even on the
lines.
lakebed this
Yeah.
year for the 48 car they
Yeah.
delivered. It was great.
Awesome.
So I'm going on
Canon
down the list.
filters.
You ready?
All right.
Maximum transmissions.
Max Trans.
Yeah.
Dynamic torque converters came on
Dynamic.
this year. They're new. CBR radiators. Bulldog winch again. Factor 55. Justin hooked us up with a bunch of recovery
Oh,
gear
Justin.
before we.
How great is
That's great.
Justin? We're going to get him on this
PSC.
podcast.
You want to talk about a great group of people that
CBR,
support racing.
Spider
yeah.
Tracks, TubeWorks, Steinjager, ECU Master.
Yeah.
That's a new one this year. Baja Designs, Rock Jock, K&N, Torco Fluids, Willwood Brakes.
This is like a dream list of sponsors.
Oh my gosh, when I get to write this stuff
Right?
up, I fangirl out so hard.
I mean,
I'm
seriously.
like, this is the creme de la creme of sponsors.
I mean,
okay.
people, yeah, this is
When
cool.
I pick people to work with, I don't pick the people that are going to pay me. I pick the part that's going to help me win.
Right, that gets you across the finish line.
Amen.
There
Yes.
it is.
Well said.
So we've got, like I said, Willwood Brakes, PCI race radios, PRP seats, PSC steering, G&J.
Nice.
Nice.
Very
G&J
nice.
aircraft, that's our brake lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very
Nice.
nice. Very nice list. And thank you to all the supporters for the team.
It is. It's cool, and it takes a village. And like we said before, this is not like Fugazi. We're just rolling in the cash, making cars and crossing finish lines. It takes a village, and it's cool. The people that have stepped up, and I'm glad that this year you had a couple people really step up to the plate, like
Yeah.
Pella Motors and Josh at SoCal there, Expeditions,
factory.
and man, super cool. I
right.
love sharing these stories.
I know, but we need to put a bow on it.
Look at it. Here we go. Dad's putting the porch light. He's flicking the porch light. We got to
What,
come
you gotta
in
get
from-
home tonight?
We got to come in from play.
Tomorrow's
You got to go to
Monday.
school tomorrow?
I
We
do.
gotta go- it's a
I
school
do.
night.
I do.
It's a school
Unfortunately.
night.
Happy daylight savings.
I know, right?
I know. In daylight savings, we lost a freaking hour. I hate this shit. Let's just pick a time and run with it, please.
I
But
know.
now the day's in it.
It is. No, I'm happy with this time. I want to stay
Let's just-
at this time zone.
Let's just stay
Just
here.
stick with it.
Just
Let's
Yeah.
stick with
Right?
it. Let's
I'm okay
stick
with
with
that.
it.
and we voted.
Let's
We
take a
voted on this.
page from Arizona and just
Right.
eliminate that.
And
Yeah.
we voted on this years ago.
Well,
and
California
why has this
did not, Nevada.
happened?
Does it still help farmers?
No, it doesn't.
We don't have
or
any
kids
farmers.
going to school and all this shit. No, let's stay with this fucking time.
I know, I agree. It's anyway. We're right on. We're so happy we were able to get you back on the show. We're able to share your stories. That's absolutely awesome, and you're always welcome on the show for sure. I don't know where Amber stands in the competition with Kevin Jones now, but
I think she's still like 2 behind or something. She's
well,
close.
or maybe
She's
1
close.
behind now.
Maybe I should just host a podcast with Kevin.
Exactly. And you should call Amber when you need a co-host when I'm off skiing.
We
got another month here.
I have her
of me
number. I
skiing.
know I have her number.
I know how
Oh, you do
technology
have her
works.
number. See?
He knows where I live.
Yeah, exactly. All right. And, okay, how do we get a hold of Amber?
Yeah, what's your Instagram?
I've got DeBurrs on Instagram. That's DABURRS, or Two Stone Racing on Facebook. That's how you go and follow me.
Can people still get the loose and lost shirts online for you?
They will be for sale shortly.
Okay.
To be honest, I literally still have not unpacked anything from Hammers.
Oh, you got to be kidding me!
Nothing.
Really?
My car is still in my trailer.
Oh
My
shit!
totaled trailer.
Wow.
With the water in the radiator.
with the water in the radiator. And it gets really
no.
cold.
Oh shit! It has been cold.
I think it's going to be fine.
Oh, it'll be fine. Don't even worry
it's
about
a samurai.
it. 20
What
degree
could
weather.
go
No
wrong?
problem.
But eventually, I will unpack those shirts, and they will be for sale. I will post it on my Instagram.
They're cool shirts. They're cool shirts.
They
Yeah.
are. They are.
All right, Randy, how do they get a hold of you?
It's Bomber Fab at Instagram. I think it's Bomber Fabrication on Facebook, or Randy Slawson.
Are you
Or-
more on Facebook than Instagram?
So it's pretty 50-50. Pretty 50-50.
If you want to buy an Atlas transfer case, hit us up on.
Oh,
either
there you go. Got
thing.
Atlas transfer cases for sale.
Ooh, man.
All kinds of cool
For
shit.
those of you who
Steering
don't
wheels.
know, we sell Bomber chassis kits.
Yep.
We sell everything from a flat pack to a full turnkey. What
Yep.
do you need? We've got it.
And that whole list of sponsors just now. If you guys want to buy any parts from any of those companies, give us a call first.
Yeah, very cool. You're
Or
right.
at the very
Yeah.
least, let them know that we sent you.
Yes.
There you go.
Absolutely. And that's how this industry works. And there's some super cool parts, race car shit that you could put on your daily rock crawler and go hit the Rubicon and Fordyce. And that's what's
And go faster.
What's cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least not break down as much.
Right. Right.
Right.
All right, Chris, how do they get a hold of us?
Well, there's a lot of ways to do that. You can do this. Get a hold of us on the Instagram, the IG as we like to call it. We're at Wheeling Wine and Whiskey. You can also email us. Jason's email is jason@wheelingwinewhiskey.com. My email is chris@wheelingwinewhiskey.com. You can also go to, you can call us. That number is 408-800-5169. And you can leave a voice message, and
right.
it'll most likely get played on the show.
We
What's
do
that?
need some voicemails.
Yeah, we do. My IG is www.chrism. I'm kind of
If he's
in and
looking
out,
at it.
in and out
If
of
he's looking at
Instagram.
it.
He's kind of a big deal.
He's kind of a
Nah,
big
not
deal.
really.
He shuts his shit down because he gets all these DMs from these hot women
Right.
from Brazil and stuff. So he
More,
kinda
more
shuts
like
his shit down
Croatia
for a while.
or shit
Ukraine.
like that. Ukraine,
It's
whatever.
not the Chinese.
No, no. So, and then, of course, our website, www.wheelingwinewhiskey.com, where you can see all of our old episodes. And you can also, there's a link for our merch there. Go check out our merch. We have hats, hoodies, and beanies and all sorts of good
Absolutely.
stuff. T-shirts. Summer's coming up, so get a T-shirt. Represent while you're on the trail. And what was the last thing? Oh, don't forget about irate4x4.com. What can they do at Irate, Jason?
They can come and sign up for free, check out all the forums, and of course go to the podcast, watch, listen, and learn.
Watch, listen, and discuss.
Discuss and scroll through the bullshit of the other podcasts you don't even care about. Toyota Podcast and Overlanding Podcast. Come on down to Wheeling Wine and Whiskey at the bottom of that because we are a W, not an A. But yeah, check us out. And if you want to support us, you can do that right there. But we appreciate it. And,
Yeah.
this is fun shit, Chris. Getting
Absolutely.
to sit down.
This is why we do it.
With some KOH icons here. From and it's cool because it's like Amber racing, arguably like the worst freaking car at KOH, a Samurai, to a Bomber 4400. We've got both dynamics here that have come together, and now Amber's in a Bomber car, and I'm so fucking excited.
We've followed
gonna
her
be great.
career from the beginning to
Yeah.
where
Exactly.
it's at now.
Your podcast and my race program basically started within like 6 months of each
Right?
other, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It is so fun to be on this journey, and we're going on 5 years now.
Yep, 5 years this spring.
and it's been fun. Your family is a freaking hoot, and it's good. I can't wait for this next year to unfold. 2024 wheeling and shit out here in Nevada and
Wheeling and
Tahoe.
shit, yeah.
and racing
ZukaCon.
next
Yeah.
year, KOH 2025. Randy, you got any final thoughts over there?
Can we edit that out?
We're out.